Hello and welcome to Breakfast Central on News Central. It's another day to talk about the latest news and current affairs stories. If this is your first time joining us, we're saying welcome and thank you for being here. My name is Joe Hansen. On a Wednesday morning, a lot has happened across the shores, or you could say from different parts of the country in Nigeria, from the presidency down to the state governors, and not forgetting to political parties, and reckless statements have been made that we are indeed expecting the DSS, and especially those in charge of Nigeria's security affairs, or ARM, I beg your pardon, to actually act. Well, not just us as journalists, because we've seen a trend, but of course, Nigerians are reacting. And you know that at 7 o'clock, we will dedicate it to what we call wake-up conversations. We'll look at what may have happened while you were sleeping or just before you slept, basically before the morning. And then we'll table it in front of you, dissect it, and get your reactions to on social. So feel free to watch us on all socials, and feel free to go on YouTube, where we take most of our comments from, because we're streaming live on Facebook, X, or you could say better still, you could check us out on YouTube as well, and drop a comment or two. I'm not alone. I've got the trio complete here today. Well, let's start off with the man who went to fix the car tires yesterday to ensure that the mechanic work is indeed being learned properly, and being a vulcanizer is also a trend. I don't mean to, introduce you that way, Benga. Please, pardon me. I'm not talking about you.
I'll wait for...
But I just want to say, it's good to see you, Benga. Wow. Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Joe. It's good to be back. I mean, health is wealth. That's all I can say.
Absolutely.
Also, take time out to, take care of the body that makes the money. It's good to be here. So many things happening. All eyes are on Osun State, as you said. And there's this senator of particular concern. We're looking up to the institutions of this country to show that, look, we're not a banana republic. There should be repercussions for statements, inciting statements made. And also the institution of the Nigerian Senate, if they're going to side with one of their own, or if, what they plan to do. Because that statement alone has brought the entire institution of the Nigerian Senate to disrepute. So let's see what will happen to this senator of particular concern. Apart from that, world-famous OBO, Omo Papa Olowo, has reported, has raised alarms with regards to this high-tension elections that are coming up in Osun State. He's tweeted at Donald Trump, and he also said about 4 embassies have reached out to him. Looking at this and so many other issues as we inch towards the gubernatorial elections in Osun State this Saturday. It's high-staked. So many people have been talking about it, so many discussions happening, campaigns happening, rice distributed at an industrial scale, and we're just waiting to see what happens this Saturday. It's very, elections shouldn't have this sort of...
Did you just say in an industrial scale?
Yes, no. It's almost, there should be rice is happening. It's raining rice in Osun State. And this is not where we should be in 2026, honestly.
All right. Anyway, you just tuned in. This is Breakfast Central, like you rightly said. Time for us to get into the stories. Let's start off our wake-up conversations this morning. And our wake-up conversation is this way. It goes this way, rather. Let's go to Osun State. That's like the first place to go to. The political tension in Osun State got heated up further yesterday as Senator representing Osun East Senatorial District, Senator Francis Fadahunsi, just take note of that name, Francis Fadahunsi, was seen in a viral video issuing death threats to members of the Accord Party found in Ilesha ahead of Saturday's Osun State governorship election. Senator Fadahunsi spoke in Yoruba while addressing supporters during a protest at the palace of the Owa Obokun of Ijesha land over what he described as incessant killings of the APC members in Ijesha land. The Imola Campaign Council, the campaign organization of Governor Ademola Adeleke, condemned Mr. Fadahunsi's statement and called for his arrest and prosecution following such insightful remarks. Meanwhile, the lawmaker representing the Osun East Senatorial District has also clarified the intention behind his now viral kill accord comment, circulating in a video on social media. In a statement by his media office, the senator said his viral comment was a call on supporters to overwhelmingly reject the Accord Party at the ballot box through lawful, peaceful and democratic means during the August 15 governorship election. This incident happened lately, a few hours after the police force shared its message to residents, cautioning them against wrongful conduct during the elections, assuring safety of residents during the course of the elections in the state. Well, let's not talk too much. Let's start off first with that video. And then we'll start breaking things down on what you may have missed that happened in Osun State as the election is building up. But take a look at the video that has caused so much, and then we'll look into the response.
So, at the day, at the last of him, Titi the guy, but here, body one, and you.
Okay, so there you have it. A senator urging its followers or his followers that anytime, anywhere you see these people ahead of the elections, kill them, unalive them. And he was bold enough to say, you can record me, okay? And then we heard people at the background saying, let's go to the market square, let's go to the market square. Let's go and tell them there that anywhere you see them, unalive them on national television. Before Olive and Benga jumps in and then Olive has her introduction, let me also mention that the same senator was so quick to run on national TV and quickly states that he did not mean kill them. He meant kill them with votes, even though the original video did not say where, did not actually depict where he said kill them with votes. He said kill them. Secondly, after granting that statement on national television, on a news channel, he went to another news channel and then said, oh, that video is AI. Olive, welcome. What? I'm sorry. We have to do this.
What's going on?
What?
AI, African intelligence.
How you doing, though?
So first of all,
Bonjour les merci.
bonjour les merci. Good morning, especially to the goat who...
Go on.
Okay. There are too many things jamming in my head. I don't know
your
whether
time.
to first of
You
all
need to drink water.
to congratulate Ronaldo on his wedding yesterday or to go straight into this story. But let me go straight into the story. I'll congratulate
You want to
Ronaldo.
congratulate Ronaldo in
Long,
Portugal. Maybe
yes.
you'd not congratulate Pella and Jarvis.
No, who told you I
At
did
the
not
back of
congratulate
your,
them? People that
in your backyard.
Of course I did.
Okay.
In fact, all the people that have been saying rubbish against them on social media have been eyeing them.
Okay.
No, the only reason I was congratulate Ronaldo is for several separate reasons. But let's get into this story. A sitting senator. Now, regardless of whether he's a politician or not, no Nigerian should ever be caught on camera asking another Nigerian to kill another Nigerian, first of all.
Commitment.
Secondly, this is a sitting senator, one who the citizens have entrusted their leadership to you because they esteemed you to be a person of excellent character. We're not 12. Coming on TV to then say that that is artificial intelligence or saying you meant kill them with votes. The Accord Party have called for the IGP to arrest and investigate, and I support that thing with two bottles of something cold. I support that motion with cola nut and 2 bottles of something cold. Because this is a state that has been battling insecurity, that has been battling electoral violence. The past month, it's been violence upon violence, court clashes, according to the police. Yesterday, we had the Commissioner of Police on camera saying it's not politically motivated, it is attacks and reprisal attacks. And the question is, do people just wake up one day and just decide, you know what, I want to attack? There has to be a background for the attack. And from where we are sitting, what we're seeing, it is political opponents using, machinery of thuggery against each other. So there definitely is a political undertone to this. So them coming to tell us that it is not political, I don't know if I can buy that argument. That is one. Two, the question is, at this time, why has that man not been invited by the police, by the DSS? If it was a regular Nigerian that made that comment about if you see Nigerian politicians or you see this, kill them, it doesn't matter the explanation you give. That very day, at most, in the words of Iraq, the next morning, DSS will have picked up that person. Why haven't they invited this man to come and give a statement? It's not enough for him to come and say that it's artificial intelligence or he meant kill them with votes. Kill them and kill them with votes are two complete separate things, and we're not children.
That's one. Benga, you have something else to say. But
yes.
Before you drop your 2 cents, let me add something to it so that we know what we're dealing with as journalists. As if that wasn't enough, another member of the APC went ahead in a rally and made the following statement that if you are not going to vote for the APC, don't come out at all, because if you come out, it's going to be...
But is that not something? Let's
watch the video. Yeah, let's just see the video. Let's just see the video. Very, very tough one. But let's see. Okay, let's
me carrying talks up and down. You come to my house freely. You are here now. Where are the talks? Where are the killer squad? The one they are talking about is a policeman is doing his work. They are terrorizing people there. Many of these the people have been coming here to report them. So we should listen to them because they are all my people. They are called people in Elisha. The PD people in Elisha. They are all my constituents. They are my own. I develop all of them. So if I say they should not listen to them when they come for vote, it doesn't mean that I ask them to kill them. If you kill, what will kill you is there. It's a serious matter when you take life. They are the people taking life. I'm not.
Okay, that's just... Benga, let's get your reaction first.
I mean, I have to say with all sense of responsibility that this is a highly irresponsible statement coming out from a member of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Fadahunsi, and I expect the remaining 108 members of the Nigerian Senate, if they have any face to save of the institution and its ethics committee, to issue a statement condemning what one of their members has done, which by implication brings the institution of the Nigerian Senate to dispute. There's no how we can twist and turn its way out of this. It's obvious. It's very open. He said it, and it's good that he's not the only Yoruba speaker in the country, because we understand, and even people with a fair understanding of Yoruba language know the implications and can translate direct translation of what he meant. And since he had the powers to say it, he should also own up and face the consequences and take responsibility for it. By jumping from one media house to the other and, trying to play smart by saying he meant kill them with votes, reminds me of the dystopian George Orwell novel, 1984, where they said the party told us to reject, the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final and most essential command. So we have ears, we have eyes, we saw it. So we're not going to reject what we see is reality. What he's talking about is an alternate reality. It didn't mean kill them with votes. We knew what he meant. And this is a call on the DSS, the Nigerian police and security operatives, to prove that, look, we have strong institutions and not powerful individuals. Like Olive said, if this was a regular Nigerian citizen, we wouldn't even be here. I mean, there are people that have done less, that have campaigned for better welfare conditions for members of Nigerian armed forces. Remember Justice Crack? It was picked up. It wasn't inciting anything. This man, knowing the atmosphere, knowing what is going on in the country and knowing what has happened in Osun State in the past few weeks, a few days to elections, still making this sort of inciting statement.
So,
And as a sitting senator of the Nigerian Senate, it's really unfortunate and disappointing and absolutely disgraceful coming from Senator Fadahunsi. And I hope law enforcement in the next 24 hours would make us proud as Nigerians.
I agree with you, Benga. Just to give it an update, this morning we're told that the police have summoned him.
Oh,
They've
great.
summoned the APC senator over his statements, but this time it's the Osun State Police Command. They summoned Francis Fadahunsi, the senator representing Osun East, over his now viral comment to kill Accord members. Take note, he said kill. He did not say kill with votes. Okay? They are two different things. You know, sometimes I wonder, when I saw that video, I said, I tried seeing the PR team, his media team, trying their best to see how they can fine-tune the story. They say, you know, it would have been maybe, Kilabashibai, what do we do? Okay, okay, Effie with votes. Effie with votes, see, so that
Well, the evidence is on camera.
Effie with votes. And he went on TV. You could see how it was. I mean, you don't need to be, you just need to be an intelligent person sometimes to notice the manner in which he was responding to the questions. You could see how panicking he was, trying as much as possible to manage himself, although his heart and mind was telling him, you know you've messed up. And then he said, okay, you know what? What I said was kill them with votes. In the same breath, few hours later, you went on another news channel and then you said, that video is AI.
No consistency, even in your lies.
In other words, if you were to be tried immediately in court, thank God we have a lawyer in the house, you first of all laid claim to A, and then you went straight to B. That simply means that whatever happens this Saturday, should there be bloodshed or killings, either today or lead up to this Saturday, even during the elections, you will be held responsible.
You know, the entire political class is playing with fire, and I hope we don't have a operational wet here 2.0 with the way things are going in Osun State. They signed the peace accord last week.
But
it's not even the ink on the peace accord has not even dried, and we're hearing this sort of inciting state. These are people's fathers and grandfathers. Very irresponsible.
There's a part I haven't gotten the exact one because I do want to look for what the terrorism laws say about this and if this would fall under acts of terrorism.
Absolutely.
Because when Nnamdi Kanu is still being detained for reasons similar, they say that he has incited people to attack other people. If you brazenly come out and tell people to kill some other people because of political reasons, you are inciting them to intimidate these people, to snuff out their right to dignity of life. And that maybe should be able to be categorized under acts of terrorism. And the same gloves with which they have treated Nnamdi Kanu should be the same gloves they used to treat people in such scenario. Which leads me again to the question about what has happened to Sheikh Jenger. Yesterday, we took the story of him calling, applauding the Muslim ticket and saying every other person is an infidel. And there have been certain calls that have been made against people who are not of the Muslim faith. Has he been picked up by the DSS yet? Or are we still going to have rhetorics? The Osun State Police Command inviting the senator to come and speak or talk about this. This is not a tea party. We're not expecting or we're inviting him to come and talk and after that is going. There are laws.
There should be consequences.
There should be actions. There are people who unfortunately will not go out to vote on Saturday because of people like this. Because at the end of the day, they weigh their life on the balance and think, well, my life is more important than these politicians and their brouhaha, so I'd rather stay at home. It is because of statements like this that our democracy is not a democracy that we're proud of. Later, we'll come out and say that ours is a nascent democracy. Our law enforcement needs to encourage and prove to Nigerians that they are really in the fight against, inequality. They're fighting against those who are enemies of our state. And if you can come out and ask anybody to kill any other person because you do not believe in the same things, electorally, religiously, or whatever, then you are an enemy of our state and you deserve, you ought to face the laws. So we'll continue to follow up with this. The police has invited him. Let's see what the police will make of this next.
Olive, just to mention again, let's also make it clear that I always turn back to the work that we do here as journalists, and at News Central, we always ensure that there's fairness, there's balance in our storytelling. And so far, I recall that in the past few months, in short, years, Benga, every morning we come here, we even talk within ourselves how hard it is and difficult for us to break stories that over 100 people were killed, 80 persons were killed by XYZ terrorists, ISWAP, name them. And some of these terrorists will go as far as even making videos and telling you, listen, we're going to kill some more. Some have sent letters to communities and say, listen, we're coming and we're going to unalive as many people as possible. And guess what? Such things happen. The military is loaded with so much. The military has a lot to deal with. Nigerian security architecture, experts have said, is carrying so much right now, and they are struggling. The last thing they will need is a senator acting in the same frame with what they are fighting against.
Adding fuel to fire.
Adding fuel to fire. Because let's be honest, what's the difference between a terrorist who says, we're going to unalive you people, and one who claims
to be a lawmaker saying unalive people? Can we wait? Can we wait? I think he's lost his responsibility as
so
he sounds like a lawbreaker. And like I said, Olive, it's not just the police that should invite him for questioning. The Senate, if they have any integrity left, should put out a statement condemning because this is from one of you. He's a product of your institution, the Senate Ethics Committee. Remember Senator Elisha Marble?
Yes.
It was invited, and I remember the First Lady was part of the committee.
Of course.
During his sex toy shop scandal, where he was said that he harassed the lady. It was there. The camera of the entire world was there, the media. This is even a bigger issue, on a bigger scale, because it has to do with lives.
So there are many other things. Just to add to that, I mean, what you said earlier about the Senate condemning them, it's not only the Senate that should speak. He's an APC senator.
Oh, yes.
The APC should speak and condemn this. This is an APC-led administration. And the APC has been criticized and accused by the Accord Party of masterminding the violence that's happening in Osun State, even though the APC has come out to say it's not only Accord Party members that have been killed, that their party members have been killed. To show that the APC is serious about democracy, if they really are, they need to speak up and condemn this statement, not align themselves with what has been said by Senator Fadahunsi. The DSS, the police need to jump in on this. And like Benga has said, the Senate needs to distance themselves from this as well.
And he should face the Senate Ethics Committee to explain himself, bringing the institution to dispute.
I can ask both of you here, and if we ask Nigerians, especially those watching now, do they trust that the independency of the DSS, the police, will act without any interference, just like they will act on any other person?
Well, they have to.
The code that nobody is above the law.
They have to do their job. It's written there. They are guided by
Showore has been in court for a statement he made. It was picked up. Many times it was locked. You mentioned Justice Crack. You've mentioned, so now we're seeing these are just individuals who have no ties with government or running a country or belonging to, in quotes, the incumbent. So is it going to be any different? In 48 hours, Benga Olive, we've seen rhetorical, or we've seen very horrible statements made, especially on media, publicized, published. A sheikh calling others infidel, and sadly, an essay to a minister jumps and says, yes, he's happy to be an infidel. Yes,
Larry Alliance
says, after all of us are infidel.
I don't really take it.
No, I'm sorry to say, but let's mention it here. There are few people we can no longer speak with again, because you do not trust their stand. When you see white, they don't call it white, they call it black. I mean, remember, we mentioned this, remember Cardinal Onayeko? I was expecting that by now, we would see our good friend, Mr. Daniel Bwala now, blowing hot. He's nowhere to be found.
Conveniently.
Nowhere to be found. Nowhere. My voice is gone. Nowhere.
Convenient so truth.
I thought by now
Let me
we would
read.
also see, what's his name, the ambassador to Mexico, who hasn't resumed yet.
Renault Mokri.
Let me read what Larry Olayinka said for the avoidance of doubt. He said, "You are an infidel. I am an infidel. We are all infidels. An infidel is someone who does not have the same religious beliefs as the person speaking. If a Muslim is the one speaking, Christians and traditional religion worshippers are infidels. If a Christian is the one speaking, Muslims and traditional religion worshippers are infidels. If a traditional religion worshipper is the one speaking, Christians and Muslims are infidels. Therefore, if you are called an infidel, it is not an insult. Simply respond by calling the person an infidel to dazzle." Then he goes on to say, this cleric by name Shafi Adeba said Muslims have rights to enslave non-Muslims. He declared war against...
That's another one.
tweet.
The one
He
I
declared
told you
war
about
against
too.
those he called infidels rooted in Islam. And he's preaching this nonsense in Yoruba land, a land of educated and civilized people with Christians, Muslims, and traditional religious worshippers living together under the same roof. Methinks people like this man should be behind our bars because extremist preachers like him cause Boko Haram that Nigeria is still battling.
Absolutely.
So this was a 10th of August tweet, both of them. So the question now is, I can understand the perspective of giving the literal definition of infidel. But the truth is, we know that this man was being, we know it's not
The context.
literal.
The context.
We know the
Olive,
context
actually the
in
context.
which he meant infidel, especially because ours is, we're very heated. We're divided along religious lines. We're divided along ethnic lines. And so these are very sensitive topics.
And this was
the
how
Muslim
Boko Haram
ticket
started.
has been
Yes.
a very sensitive matter right from the 2023 elections, that Nigerians felt like they had no choice. They just had to let it go. A number of people felt marginalized by the fact that it was a Muslim ticket. The Christians kicked against it. But eventually it prevailed, and now it's come up again. So we must be very careful in the way that we speak about certain things and jump into certain conversations. I want to take some reactions on YouTube. We're streaming live, News Central TV live on YouTube. And from there, we will head to X to take some tweets. YouTube is on fire this morning. I hope I can take as many as I can. Let me just start somewhere. Ikechukwu Victory says, my problem is the people chairing the political... Ikechukwu, I can't call him that word on TV, unfortunately. He said, so if their brothers and sisters are Accord members, they'll be happy to have them killed. The senator is acting out a script. We don't know this one as well. Michael Zu says, in a Senate climb, this Fadahunsi should be suspended. But since he's acting on behalf of powers that be, Akpabio will never think of it, even if an opposition member brings it up. Shame on Nigeria's APC. Ochodi says, Senator, go explain tire, but the DSS still quiet after 20 hours. After that Sheikh Irresponsible's comment, now this senator, it's okay, we are watching. And Theophilus Ijoma says, a lawmaker issuing a death threat to the people he was elected, selected to represent, is a testament to the fact that everything is fair in politics, according to the Bola Tinubu. Nathan Emmanuel said, do we remember what happened in Lagos during the 2023 election, where a particular ethnic group was asked not to come out and police PRO came and defended him and said he was joking? Yes, we remember. Where a certain person came out and said they should not come out. Yeah, so yeah, some of the Igbos were asked not to come out, unfortunately. But they said it was a joke. And the truth is, the reason why things like this are still happening is because right from the time when this happened, the government did not take a strong stance to kick in against bigotry of any form, ethnic or religious. If at the time they told Iyashinedu and Iyashukudi not to come out to vote in 2023, there were strong punitive measures against those statements, and those statements were termed as one that was, depriving people of their right to, first of all, be Nigerians. If they had dealt with it thoroughly, maybe just maybe we wouldn't be here by now.
Very sad.
But we'll take more comments. I believe that we need to go on a very quick break, and when we come back...
Not really a break.
Oh, okay.
Let's just also highlight quickly, just like you mentioned, we would like to see what Nigerians are saying. But while we're also dealing with Sheikh yesterday, we're also dealing with the senator who has been invited by the Osun State Police. Another member, another politician, yesterday during the rally warned, I don't know if we have the footage now, the video now, warned that people shouldn't come out, and threats were equally made. But let's take a look.
APC,
for a briefing on two major developments on the Osun political landscape. We have credible reports that a police signal has arrived in Osun directing immediate arrest of Accord party leaders. We also know the directive includes that they should be taken to Abuja immediately and should not be released until Monday. I have spoken to the Inspector General of Police about the reported directive to arrest Accord party leaders. But I am appealing to him that if this development if it is true, it is illegal and present Nigeria as a lawless country. Arresting Accord party leaders on the eve of an election amount to police helping and assisting the APC Osun to rig the election. I thank the Inspector General of Police to issue a statement to assure Nigeria that no order has been given to arrest Accord party leaders in Osun State. It is illegal and a threat to democracy for Accord party leaders to be arrested on the eve of an election on trumped up charges. It is disturbing that we have over 62 Accord party leaders held in illegal police detention without any charges against them, including one of our party candidates, Alaba Bukola. This is not democracy. The second issue has to do with the viral video of a service senator, Francis Fadahunsi, who today called for the killing of Accord party leaders and their families. In the video, the senator even threatened that where they cannot get Accord party leaders, they should kill their wives and children. This is now beyond politics. This is now a national security threat that requires the attention of Mr. President through the Office of the National Security Advisor. I have raised this issue with the Inspector General of Police and demanded for the immediate investigation and arrest of Senator Fadahunsi.
Well, that's the governor there who is making statements concerning the recent development there in Osun State, guys. He's calling on the security agencies. For Nigerians, they are calling on the DSS. They've seen how swiftly the DSS has acted, especially in cases that are not up to this level or standard when it comes to call for violence and unaliving citizens. Davido, who happens to be the nephew to the governor, decided to call on Donald Trump yesterday, guys. And that also trended because everyone started, using AI to create videos of Donald Trump responding, him coming
or arriving at Ede International Airport, non-existent though,
to come and oversee the elections. And he responded, and they said, "Why are you calling? Why don't you call on your president?" And he posted a picture of himself and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and put two country flags and said he's a citizen of the United States and also a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He's got dual citizenship. And he kept laughing and asking them, what have you gained? Just to wrap things up from my end, I mean, for those who are willing to kill themselves, unalive themselves, just to ensure that they get power, or they have their, in quotes, candidates or leaders get into the seat of power, history has always shown that even after you unalive yourself, you will never be remembered. You will never. You can go check those who fought stupidly, let's use that word, thinking it was a case of being courageous, right in front of politics. And the question many have asked is, you being told to kill, e.g., has the senator himself brought his children out to come out and join the fight in killing? That's just one question I want to ask this morning. The person asking you to go and kill, has he brought his own family members to come outside too and lead? And him talking like they used to do back then in the historic days, the king will lead the fight. Is he ready to also lead the fight in front? But he's urging you to go.
At the end of the day, just before we move to what Nigerians are saying, it's at the end of the day, it's a civic exercise. It's you vote your choice, I vote my choice.
It doesn't look like a civic exercise.
We debate policies, we debate issues, we debate ideas, bring out my track record. You also say what you plan to do. And this has been reduced to, we're not even talking policies. Nobody's talking about the needs of the people of Osun anymore. It's Stogri, it's all those threats of violence and all of it, which is quite unfortunate. My appeal to the politicians is that the states will outlive you. So please do what is necessary to prevent things, the breakdown of law and order by acting responsibly. Mind the sort of statements you make. The polity is already heated to a very disturbing level. I will want Nigerians to come out on Saturday to exercise your franchise without any fear.
Benga, you're saying it's just election. This does not feel like just election. War. It's feeling like war. Yesterday, we had our correspondent Bernard was live in Osun State, and behind him, we had the police, different law enforcement agents, all of them behind him. And it just felt to me, why do we have this much law enforcement agents? It was a bittersweet feeling for me. Bitter because it's a shame that in many countries, people can have elections and go about their normal day. It's like a regular day. You cast your vote, go to work, nothing is interrupted. But in Nigeria, we're not even talking about the federal elections. It's election in a state. Local government elections even get the same kind of drama. The whole place will be on lockdown because we're trying to vote. Sweet, because maybe that would encourage citizens to come out and make them feel a sense of safety, that the state prioritizes their welfare. But it is really sad, and it's a shame that this is where we are. I want to still take some comments on YouTube, but let's take some from X first, and then I'll come back to YouTube to read some more comments, to hear what Nigerians are saying about what's happening in Osun State.
On X, official DSS is tagged, and he says, won't you guys invite him for questioning and prosecution for inciting violence? That's a question. And that's what we've also seen. This one says, we need a free and fair election in Osun State, please. Which organization does one need to tag to make this possible? I beg. Imagine. Just imagine that. Ryan says, only if Nigeria has a working government. As of now, this man is meant to be suspended and under investigation. Another one says, authorizing violence and blocking people from voting is not politics. It is a direct threat to free and fair elections, and everyone involved should face serious consequences. That's not a tweet. I am an indigene of Osun State, and I reside in Osun. People of Osun don't have vote of confidence in the police. Please tighten security in the state. Police should be our friends. Don't be biased, please. Imagine people calling for help on YouTube.
Imagine, and that's telling police not to be biased. So let me start from the bottom. On YouTube, Chuka Chiama says, I really have very little sympathy for Adeleke. Shebi Naim endorsed Tinubu to come back in 2027 to continue with this very interesting...
And he hasn't changed his stance.
No, he hasn't. He's still behind President Tinubu. And Theophilus Ijoma keeps emphasizing everything is fair in politics for Tinubu. Michael Su says, by Larry Olayinka standards, all Nigerians, including his boss, Wiki, and the overall master, we are all infidels. Bravo, Larry Olayinka, the 21st century infidel. Interesting. Mokia Chukwemeka says...
Self-acclaimed.
Exactly.
Infidel.
Which party makes those derogatory statements? The APC? And to Larry, I'm not surprised at his utterances. Did Bayo Onanuga say anything about the Islamic cleric? Not that I know of. I haven't seen that yet. Anthony says, justice in Nigeria is selective. It's sad to say, but I don't see anything wrong, anything coming out from the police invitation or the senator facing the full wrath of the law. I weep for my country. Annie Chinedu Brown says, Olive, please go... Okay, this is a compliment. It says I should go to 4 different studios to take pictures, and my outfit is out of Nigeria's today's standard. Thank you so much, Annie Chinedu. You've made me smile because this news is very annoying. But thank you so much. Oyedokun Olaide says, good morning. Look, the killing in Osun is countless, and this will continue because this is what... Well, we can't say that. Unfortunately, I can't read this on air. I'm sorry. Lilian Oloha says this, and I think I'll put a pin on the comments for now. Lilian Oloha says, Olive, they will not allow him to face the law. This was same experience some Igbos and people who look Igbo experienced in Lagos in 2023 elections. They know who they were, yet nothing happened. This is the sentiment that many Nigerians have, that nothing will come out of this. And I want to beg, appeal to law enforcement in Osun State. I want to appeal to the federal government to ensure that Nigerians are proven wrong, that the Nigerians who seem to have lost faith in law enforcement being able to hold people accountable for their wrongful actions, that they see that indeed there still are laws in Nigeria, that these laws are being followed, and that everyone, including the government of the day, is particular about our democracy being upheld. Do we have time for our second story, or do we go to our
Not really.
stories?
Is that all the comments you've taken?
Well, there are a number of comments, but I do not know. If we have time, I can still take more comments. Producers, do we have more time?
Let's take 2 more.
Okay, let's take a few more. Oye says, democracy is not working in Nigeria under this APC government. I think we should rethink the kind of government we want in Nigeria. Much later today, when we're looking at the papers, one of the stories on the headline is former President Olusegun Obasanjo saying the same thing about the kind of democracy we have and how that's not really working. But we'll take that much later. Osayende says, God is trying to help Nigerians, but Nigerians are not helping themselves. What more do you expect God to do by allowing these bunch of inhuman people to expose themselves in public? Osa says, I have a question. Can we still call him distinguished after all what he said? Valid question.
You know, someone had asked on this program, and when he gave, he said we should. One of our guests said, please, can we remove distinguished whenever we speak to these senators? That they were actually elected to get there. So what distinguishes them? It's
the same way that Peter Obi at the last election said, for you to be called Your Excellency, the mode of your getting into power must have been excellent. It's the same way
your conduct should be excellent.
Distinguished senators should act very distinguished. This is not a very, very distinguished...
I expect not to preempt the Senate Ethics Committee, but going by the evidence that is before them, I expect to see a suspension of Senator Fadahunsi. Anything less than a suspension would be a travesty
Unfortunately,
of justice, and it would rub off wrongly on the institution of the Senate.
Anyway,
I don't really have much hope.
Elisha Mabo was suspended.
Yeah.
Wenga,
the senator, the lawmaker that slapped a taxi driver, was he suspended?
No, really.
I doubt.
He wasn't. He wasn't.
I think it's a pick and choose
But the police, just to mention as we wrap this up, the Nigerian police force has warned against electoral violence. They have a press release out. They announced security arrangement for Osun State governorship election. Just to mention there, the Nigerian police force, under the leadership of Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Rilwan Disu, they have it on the screen, warns political parties, candidates, supporters, and the public that the Osun State governorship election scheduled for Saturday must be peaceful. Anyone who attempts to disrupt the process through violence, like what we just saw and heard, intimidation, like what we just saw and heard, or thuggery, like what we just saw and heard, will face the full weight of the law. We're waiting for that full weight
of the law. So kudos to the police for putting this out. Well done. They've done the right thing.
But make examples of people.
Exactly. By giving everyone a heads up to know that if you do anyhow, you see anyhow. But someone has already done anyhow. So let's wait to see if you will really see anyhow. But let's share with you what the headlines this morning are on Breakfast Central. Our top stories this morning, our core conversation focuses on Osun polls. Governor Adeleke's camp raises concern, and there have been Nigerians who have reacted as well. The NCAA calls for dialogue as aviation workers strike disrupts flights. 2025 FGN ASO agreement, 20 varsities to begin industrial action. They've given an ultimatum as well. Sports development, American Cola unveils new basketball court in Ilukbeju. The newspaper front pages will be analyzed with our guests, and we'll open the phone lines for you to call in at that point. So please stay with us.
Hello, welcome back to Breakfast Central. Flight operations have been disrupted at major Nigerian airports following an industrial action by aviation unions over allegations that the airline was frustrating workers' unionization and withholding ticket sales charges owed to Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. Passengers were left stranded in Lagos and Abuja on Tuesday as members of the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, and the Airport Transport Services Senior Association of Nigeria picketed airline operations.
The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has appealed to the unions to suspend the action pending the return of the aviation minister, Festus Keyamo, who says it has been working to resolve the dispute. The NCAA also says aviation safety remains uncompromised, while United Nigeria Airlines has suspended operations, and Air Peace reported significant disruptions after access to some airport terminals was blocked. The unions, however, insist their demands must be addressed, raising fresh questions about labor rights, regulatory obligations, and the impact of industrial inputs on Nigeria's already fragile aviation sector.
Joining us for this conversation is publishing CEO of Aviators Africa, Mr. Tony Kachuku, joins us live in the studio. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
An aviation expert that you are, and now you've seen this entire story developing. Yesterday, we kept hearing, in short, those who were close to friends and family members kept reporting back to them that, guess where I am? I'm still stuck. Nothing is happening. What could lead to an issue of this magnitude, therefore affecting flight operations? What's the background, basically?
Thank you very much. So basically, the background started with the ticket sales charge that airlines refused owing Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. Have been owing them for quite a while. Okay, so there have been arguments.
Do consumers, do we pay for that charge?
Yes.
Anytime we buy it?
Yes. I mean, unfortunately, the consumers are, now the passengers are always bearing the brunt of whatever issues happens in the aviation, because the passengers pay upfront, the ticket sales charge, which is embedded in your ticket. Every ticket you buy, international flight is about $100. Local flight is about $20 or thereabout. I don't know the figures now. No, it's 2,000 naira for fun, domestic. So airlines are owed. Airlines owe these monies to NCAA. They are supposed to collect from passenger on behalf of NCAA. Now, remittance has now been the issue. So they collect and they chop it, or they collect and use it for their personal. No, so this is not your money. So that's the background, okay? And then, of course, there are issues with, if you don't pay us, the regulators, how do we regulate you properly? This is safety, okay? But this drags. And then, of course, the other part of the story is that Air Peace doesn't want people to unionize, their workers to unionize. So it now came up with different issues. Then NAMA came in that NCA is taking too much money from the TSC, 56%, that they do more work. And then the whole thing just went downhill from there.
Wow. So where are we at the moment? Has the situation been resolved? Will passengers be able to travel without impediments today? And what's going to end this?
It's a developing story. So the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority have called on the union members to sheath their sword, and that airlines have started to pay. So we hear, and then hopefully today and the coming days, things should come back to normalcy.
But why did we have to wait for it to get to this extent where people are now striking? before they made the remittances, and now they're promising that the airlines will start to pay from today. Why did we have to wait for it to get to this extent?
So that's the issue. So I think it's a systematic, fundamental issue with the industry. There should be a mechanism where NC just gets their money, from source. So a passenger having to pay the airline, and the airline collects on behalf of NCA and then decides whether I should pay or not to pay is what is causing the issue. So it should be separated where, NCA collects their money upfront. This issue wouldn't have arisen. And so that's the challenge. But again, should be some responsibility on the part of airlines to pay what they are holding on behalf of the regulator. That is not their money. It's simple. You can't collect my money, collect monies on behalf of me, and you keep it for your own operations.
That's stealing.
Exactly. It's like an agent collecting money on behalf of the landlord and chopping the money.
Exactly.
Plus their own fees, agent fees, and the rent.
But let's talk about something unprecedented that happened yesterday. The aircraft runway and the airside are very highly restrictive and sensitive areas in aviation. I mean, just playing around there could lead to charges of terrorism. And then we saw, can we have that image up, please? An airpiece bus that is used to convey passengers park on the runway. What could have led to this? What sort of message is the company sending? I mean, your reputation is at stake if you're engaging in this sort of thing. I had to take the NCAA to get a towing van to remove it from its location. Michael Achimugu, the spokesperson for NCAA, said the driver will be identified and prosecuted. I think this is beyond the driver. It's an indictment on airpiece.
Absolutely. I think it's impunity at the highest level. I mean, aviation is safety. Nobody should have any issue doing this kind of stuff on the ramp. It's unacceptable. And it's like I said, is the high point of impunity, just like the Form 1 incident where an individual wants to stop an aircraft, and then now we are seeing this. That is what happens when you don't have there are no consequences to actions. Stuff like this keep happening. But when there are clear deterrents, people will know their bounds. You don't do anything on the air side because it's safety area. And so yes, I think that goes beyond the driver, because the driver did not go there as himself. He was carrying the brand and logo of Airpeace. So now it's a brand issue, and I don't think any driver, by all their senses, will drive all the way to go and block airlines. Because your airline has been picketed does not mean you stop the taxiway for other airline operations.
I mean, how did we descend from garage behavior to the airport?
Is that bad? I mean, if this could happen, you start to wonder whether what comedians have said can actually happen in the future, where you'll be on air and people will be telling you, gala, buy this, buy that, buy sausage. You'll be afraid, because it starts from now, you see what's going on. And the Kwamwon incident, that one man thought he was Superman. He could say he could hold a plane. So, I think the minister has a lot to deal with. But
so beyond even fixing airports, the aesthetics of it, how do we fix the mentality and the human beings that are operating this? Because we're building a world-class airport. The renovation is massive. It's ongoing, and they're trying to streamline operations. You tap and go with your passport. Reduce wait time, which are commendable. But the human beings that can allow this sort of things to happen,
world-class mentality.
Do they have a world-class mentality?
So I give it to aviation. Aviation is a global sector. So there's no like Nigeria aviation, South Africa aviation, or American aviation. It's global standards, okay? And it prides itself with trainings and retrainings of every cadre in the aviation spectrum. However, the issue is, are these people trained? Do you have safety officers trained on how to do HSE on the ramp, for them to know their limits and their bounds, or you just employ any kind of person and don't do the training and then get certified? Because every role in the aviation industry the person has to be trained and certified for that role. So you can know the understanding and how global best practices are obtainable. So those are the issues. So it now boils down to training and how airlines, train their staff.
Okay, so we're expecting a meeting with the stakeholders and the minister on Thursday. What do you think would be some of the agenda that should be discussed at the meeting? How do you think what actions, actionable steps should be taken from the meeting, after the meeting?
I think even before the meeting, I think the ministry's silence is very loud. This has been ongoing. It's something that should have been, nipped in the bud before now. For example, NAMA and NCA are the House of Reps Committee on Aviation fighting over who takes the chunk of this TSC that passengers are paying in the first place. So it's something that we should have resolved internally, and down there's breakdown of law and order. Passengers are affected. It shouldn't have gotten to this extent. Airlines pay the money you're collecting on behalf of NCA, period. And
then how do we ensure that going forward, this is something that happens, where
so I think
the source maybe?
Yeah, so they need to build the mechanism. It's just that you can't just, NCA cannot just, by fear say, okay, I start collecting my money. Everything is, by act of parliament, so they have to kind of review the act that says NCA collect on behalf of these other agencies.
Or they put penalties for airlines that do not remit, hefty penalties.
No, they're actually penalties. For example, if as a regulator, which NCA says, if you don't pay me, I don't offer you the services, there are essential safety office services that the Nigerian Civil Aviation offers the airlines. Okay, so if you don't do it, I withdraw it. So NCA has already sent them a letter, look, no pay, no service. But unfortunately, they were asked to withdraw that letter. So now NCA cannot enforce its mandate to say, look, as an airline, if you don't pay me, I'm not going to offer you services.
Who asked them to withdraw the letter?
Well, it became political. Okay, so NCA had to pull back. That's why I wrote in one of the pieces that in the aviation, one of our chat rooms, that we should be careful not to build strong men in the aviation industry rather than strong institutions. So when individuals that begin to think they are bigger than the system, then there's a problem.
And we see that across spheres of industries where one person is dominating and then it becomes political. But let me go back to the airpiece issue.
Yeah.
Why is there a reason why you don't want your staff to be part of a union? Is there any what could be the reason? And again, looking at the industry, does the industry allow a particular airline to stop its members from associating with a body?
No. It's part of labor laws. I mean, it's okay for anybody to unionize, However, some airlines would not want their members or their staff to join the union because there might be issues with conditions of service. So
of service from their part.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
so they don't want to
exactly.
Fight.
So that is the core issue, because if you, as an airline, you are above board, you shouldn't have a problem with your staff being part of a union. It's enshrined by law.
We also want to know why, unions. Nigerians are struggling. We've worked very hard to earn what we earn, and then you buy a pricey ticket, and you're not allowed to make your way into the airport because the union is striking, which is no fault of ours. Even the money you are fighting for, it's the people, it's the ordinary Nigerians that paid that money for it to be remitted to you. So the airport is not the personal property of the union members. So why did they always make the consumers bear the brunt? Are there no other creative ways of picketing or letting their grouses known?
So I agree with you. This is not the way to go. I agree about. I'm for unionism, but I'm not about the way and manner they went about it to disrupt, activities at the airport. But sometimes there are precedences to how things happen. When there's an action, always there is a consequence. Though I don't agree, but it was reported that APC chairman was daring the union that they cannot do anything, they cannot picket them, they can, and the union started to show, okay, which is why they're saying, why did you target Airpeace? It's supposed to be the all the airlines that are owing. But they say they are starting with Airpeace and then they're going to picket other airlines. But, it was the chairman that came out to say, I dare the union to picket them. So some of this conversation is not should be heard. I mean, you are the receiving end as an airline, you are owing, and then you're also coming out to say you are daring people. What message are you sending out there? So the union shouldn't have gone about it that way. I totally agree. But there was an issue where all the parties were called to a roundtable, and some of the concerned parties didn't show up. So it will have been resolved. But some parties didn't show up.
Okay, so now part of the issue is 5% ticket sales.
Yes.
The percentage paid by passengers on every ticket, but from the airlines. APC has been accused of having the highest share of remittance to the tune of, I think, 15 billion naira.
Yep.
But APC has denied this allegation. APC says that they have remitted the 5% to the TSC and 5% TSC to the NCA, and they are questioning why their operations have been singled out. So if NCAA is saying that APC hasn't paid, APC is saying they have remitted, who is telling the truth?
Which is why everything is shrouded in secrecy. There should be some kind of transparent act and how these figures and everything is published so that everybody as a stakeholder, even the passenger, should know, so that you make informed decision which airline you go fly.
Exactly.
You know, so that
they won't picket me. if I'm buying a ticket, I'll ask them, "Are you show me the alert to NCA and you pay the 5%?"
It's only fair that APC has the biggest amount because it's the biggest airline. But them arguing that they started paying, which is a developing story that SSA airlines have started to pay. So now we don't know at what point, which is this stuff should be published so that people can actually know where the merit of the matter is.
Well, I mean, I know this is a bit out of our league in terms of conversation that we're having now, but is there any hope that, you know, we're going to see Nigerian Air come back or happen? Because in all of this, these are individuals who are building businesses. APC, of course, is individual building businesses. Dangote, on the other hand, is an individual. Doesn't mean that anything government institution is not going to ever work.
In our environment, it will be very difficult for any government thing to work. But however, I mean, it's not about government things to work.
But Ethiopia,
if you have, yes, it's government owned but privately run. You know, so it's just like your Ibom Air. It's 100% Ibom, Akwa Ibom owned, but they run it independently of the no interference. The issue starts when there begins to be some political interference, and the aviation sector is always a culprit for it. So the economics are right for we to have a national carrier. We have the market, we have the geographical location, we have the hub. Everything works for us when you do the economics. However, it's the political will and, you know, for people to just be transparent and allow things to work the way they're supposed to work systematically.
All right, just to, I want to refer to APC. APC had put out a statement, a press statement. They had said regarding the temporary disruption to flight operations following ongoing industrial action at the ports. They said, we wish to inform our esteemed passengers and the general flying public of temporary disruptions to our ongoing flight operations arising from the picketing of our airline and the ongoing industrial action by members of the NLC, the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, ATSAN, and the Trade Union Congress. He says that, I'm going to scroll down. It apologized to all the affected passengers and said that, they are closely monitoring developments and will provide further updates where necessary. Now, is there also
They didn't mention that bus incident. Conveniently left it out.
I'm checking to see if there was anything of the sort. They said, no, they didn't mention anything about that.
Of course.
However, APC is arguing that why they're asking, it's a question I asked and I want to ask again, why was APC particularly singled out? Because their argument is beyond them saying that they've paid. They're saying that all the other airlines, to some measures, were able to run, that the Ibom Air and all the other airlines were also able to fly. So why was their airline singled out? This is not the first time we've heard APC, complaining, and many people have argued that there's some measure of politics involved in what is happening. Do you perhaps think that there's any element of truth to those who argue that there's a measure of politics targeted at APC?
So from an objective standpoint, it should be wrong that it's always APC that's always in the news. I know for a fact that the sector, which is the Ministry of Aviation and by far Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, has supported that airline, if I dare say, more than any airline in Nigeria. So I don't think there's any politics in the negative to bring it down. However, I think there needs to be some introspection on the part of APC. What are the underlying issues that need resolving? Is this unionism? Solve it. Are you owing? Pay it. Be above board so that when you now come out to say there's politics or people are about you or anything, people can now stand for you. The passengers will say, do you have on-time performance? You know, the passengers will stand, ultimately, is the passenger. If I'm a passenger, I fly an airline, they're always on time, their customer service is top-notch, I will stand for that airline.
Who comes to equity must come with
Exactly. So that is the case.
Okay, and then for passengers, because unfortunately, like you've mentioned earlier, we have to bear the brunt, and Megad made reference to this. What remedy is there for me as a passenger that has no business in the fight of these two elephants? I come to the airline. Are there possibilities that passengers can actually get some form of compensation when the airlines cancel because of whatever
businesses
issue?
and other things.
I'm seeing comments. Somebody says, I have a flight by 2:30 p.m. today and I have to be somewhere early tomorrow. Please, will this be resolved today? There's someone else who responded, because I'm in the comment section. Someone else is saying, you people should resolve this ASAP. This is so unfair. There are people that have, this one says, there are people having connecting flights. You knew this was going to happen, yet you couldn't notify us on time. Some of us traveled from our destinations to Lagos just to catch our connecting flights this morning, only to be left stranded. And I shudder to imagine those who had international flights that they needed to catch, but unfortunately, as a result of this, they can't meet up. So what remedy is there for the consumer, for the passenger, who has to bear the brunt of this fight between the airlines and NCAA, a fight that doesn't concern us at all?
So there is the consumer right is enshrined in the Consumer Protection of Act 19 of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Regulations, where if there is a delay, cancellation, the benefits are outlined. However, I also know, this is also part of awareness, most passengers don't know their rights when it comes to cancellation, delays, and and all that. So yes, passengers have right to some compensation of some sort, except the airline wants to now go under force majeure.
I wanted to say they call it an act of God.
So
but this one is not an act of
It's act
God.
of human being that drove that bus to the wrong way.
This one not concerned God. God was not about.
Yes.
Not breeze or tornado that moves the bus.
A human being, a driver of particular concern.
So yes, passengers are actually protected under the law, under consumer protection, and that is overseen by NCA. And I must give kudos to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Directorate of Consumer Protection and Public Relations. They've been doing a whole lot of work with consumer compensation and passenger concerns, in recent times, which is very commendable. So to answer your question, yes, passengers have the right, has some kind of compensation when it comes to cancellation, delays, and all that.
Right, and I really wish more passengers will enforce it, because by the time airlines know that they have a lot of damages to pay, compensation to pay, maybe we'll make a lot of them sit up. A particular airline delayed my flight. It was supposed to be a 12 o'clock flight. I was in Asaba, and they delayed my flight. I did not fly till 9 p.m. And even that 9 p.m. is with plenty, I beg.
For me, what I do is, once I experience something like that, I just cancel you forever and ever, even a free ticket. I won't board that airline. And that airline is the airline of particular concern, but I won't mention.
Okay. So that's what I want airlines to be doing, hold the airlines to account. But Nigerians are always very easy to forgive. An airline will delay you, you still go and buy that airline, and go and buy that airline.
That ticket since that happened.
They should hold these airlines to account so that they be able to sit up, because they also, you bear the brunt. So have the responsibility of also punishing the airline to say, I can't give you my money.
Okay, so for Nigerians who do not know, if you need to make a complaint, on X, there's somebody who will respond to you quickly. He's the Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection at NCAA, Civil Aviation. His name is Michael Achimugu. Tweet at Michael Achimugu with your complaints and with your evidence.
And they also have desks at every airport.
Yes.
The Consumer Protection has desks at every airport across the country.
Oh, yes.
And they are very responsive.
Now, what role does the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace have to play in resolving this crisis and also preventing it from happening again? And I also think, maybe Mr. Kiyamo, in 3 years, he's been Minister of 3 years, he should drop that aerospace nomenclature, because we're not playing at that level yet. Let's first deal with this one, that we're aviation first, and leave aerospace for the future.
There's nothing wrong with being ambitious.
Do we have astronauts? Maybe Olive will be our first astronaut.
Aerospace.
You want guys to finish me there.
True.
What do you think about his role? What role do you think he has to play in this?
I mean,
he has a lot. He has a lot.
Yes. I mean, this role, is call all the parties concerned and resolve it internally. This can be resolved easily because in aviation is not an anyhow sector. There are laws, there are acts of parliament. So let's go back to the books. What does the book say? It's even easy for Kiamo to solve. What does the book say? Airline, how are you supposed to pay this TSC? Are you supposed to owe it? If you owe it, then withdraw your services. So when you're serious as an airline, you come back to operations. It's very easy. But we try to go away from the issues and begin to politicize issues rather than doing
or
the
one
right
big
thing.
man will now call him, please step down. You can't do this to us. I know somebody.
Which has been the case in some instances, unfortunately.
All right. Wait, I think, okay, you have...
Just my final question. What do you make of Nigerian flights, direct flights to Canada? Great milestone, great achievement?
Yes, it is. Part of the challenges that we have in Nigeria is we have bilateral air service agreement that we've signed with countries, all right, about 70-something of them. Yeah. But if you sign BASA agreement and you don't have the power of reciprocity, you are the losing end.
You are only giving advantage.
Yeah, so if we sign with Air Canada now, Air Canada, maybe you have 12 traffic rights to fly into Nigeria. How many airlines in Nigeria can fly to Canada? So Canada will just come here and be carrying all our people going about.
And that reminds me, and if Air Canada is coming to Nigeria, we have still not solved the issue of the flights that Air Canada saw in Canada that belongs to Nigeria. Remember that flight that they seized?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So, so Qatar will come, Emirates will come. They all have BASA agreements signed with us, but we are not able to reciprocate. So we are the receiving end, which is why some countries do what we call protectionism. They don't want people to just come and be carried, because Nigeria is a huge market. We have just not, as a country, organized ourselves well. We travel a lot. We have the numbers. We're well positioned on the map. 6 hours, equidistance from Europe, Dubai, Middle East, and the South. God don't bless us, but unfortunately, the human beings don't want.
Now, finally, before we let you go, I know we said finally before, we cannot have this conversation with an aviation expert without talking about the recent safety incidents where, our plane, they just hear boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Yes. Enugu Airlines, it's been in operations for less than a year and has had 2 incidences of, overshooting the wrong way. And thank God it's not been a worse type of situation. And it's not been fatal. Is there any cause for concern? And what do you make of state governments looking at it like the new in thing to do, following IBOM as success in the aviation sector?
So incidences...
And also, is there any preliminary report on that, on the latest incident that happened in Benin?
Thank you. So incidences and accidents will always happen in the aviation industry. However, it's how are we making sure that there is zero tolerance to safety? But incidences will always happen. That is guaranteed. So what happened with Enugu Air is normal incidents. Anything can happen with an airline. However, there should be a recommendation, a safety recommendation from Nigeria Safety Investigation Bureau of this is what caused this. How do we, make sure that it doesn't happen again? Yeah, so there is an ongoing investigation. Nigeria Safety Investigation Bureau is supposed to have a 30 days window to bring a preliminary report on what happened with Enugu Air. So I don't think that it's up to 30 days yet. Okay. So after that preliminary report, we will know what happened with Enugu Air. So that's with the airlines. Then again, from that report, to be able to know what happened, was it aquaplaning? Was it the runway? Was it the air traffic control? Was it weather? Then, of course, those recommendations can now be taken further so that it doesn't happen again. Yes, to avoid such occurrence.
Okay, I want us...
Before you ring that,
I have good news.
You want to milk the aviation experts?
I want to.
Yeah, quick, before I wrap up with
Since you just hear boom.
Boom, boom.
We thank God it wasn't fatal. The helicopter that turned to Bolekaja, that landed and passengers came down on the express road. I don't know if
it wasn't a helicopter.
It was private jet. Yes.
That landed on the
third road. Yes.
It just landed. So
please don't call me that happened.
You see what I've been saying? That we are getting close.
Benga, did you hear what he said it happened?
Because people of Ogwashu who were just sleeping. I knew he
was not.
a place of particular concern.
I said, Gbenga did not hear this. If not, I would have not.
You know, since the last time he came, look at the incidents we've documented. And it wasn't so long ago.
Yeah.
That's happened in the aviation sector. It's interesting.
Okay, I want to wrap up with good news. Good news. As we wrap up the conversation on the aviation sector, there is a new introduction. It is called the Radio Frequency Identification Tag, that is RFID tag, to bag tagging to ensure that your bags don't get missing. Now, this automation technology means that air passengers can track the location of their bags from check-in to arrival at destination real time. And this is a tweet that was put out by Michael Achimugu. He says, we are going to resolve the issue of misrouted bags, short-landed bags, etc. Now, this is not novel globally, but this is coming to Nigeria for the first time. And its proper implementation would guarantee greater efficiency in baggage handling, complaints resolution, and passenger satisfaction. So when we are traveling to Abuja for the NESG, it's not the one that will be in Abuja, then they'll say, your bag is still in Lagos, or your bag is on the way to Akwa Ibom. So great news, well done. Let's give a round of applause to them. Now, when they bring in,
They should also. They should also.
Let's try and get Michael.
So,
Michael should watch it.
They should also give this technology, this RFID technology, to Royal Air Maroc. They are very notorious for missing people's bags.
We wouldn't stop there.
I haven't flown.
We are brothers keepers. Let's give them the advice.
Right to it. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure.
Always nice having you dissect issues concerning the aviation sector. Well, let's talk about lovers of basketball like myself, having tried to play professional at a certain point. But of course, Nigeria.
Where's the height?
Would not happen. I was a point guard, Benga.
Okay, so you don't really need height.
I played point guard and I played shooting guard. So
You tried.
Don't worry.
well, the good news is, at a certain point in time, we found out that the basketball courts were being replaced with football pitches. And lovers of basketball started wondering where they will go to play basketball. Not just that, Nigeria is blessed with talent. If you go to the north, you find players. If you go to the middle belt, even down here southwest, we have fantastic basketball players that it seems like it was engraved or put into our DNA. But America Cola, yes, they've decided to do something. And they decided to construct and put together basketball courts across Lagos State. Our reporter, who's also a lover of basketball, Favor Itua, decided to pay a visit to see what they are doing. And we have the privilege to bring this package to you. So take a look and see the future for basketball in Nigeria, starting here in Lagos.
A severe lack of adequate sports facilities have long been regarded as one of the impediments to grassroots sports development in Nigeria. In response to this, Planet Bottling Company, makers of American Cola, have taken up the challenge by stepping up into the breach as part of their corporate social responsibility. On Saturday, the company unveiled a newly refurbished basketball court at Ilupeju in the Odi Olowo Ojuwoye LCDA of Lagos State. The occasion was also used to kick off their basketball meet art event, featuring visual art, a 3x3 basketball event, and a shooting competition with 24 teams competing in each event.
Globally, the countries that we belong to, we love basketball, and all the communities that play basketball in Lagos, starting with Lagos, we are identifying them and seeing what we can do as a brand to improve the conditions when it comes to the community and the courts, and also to support the basketball players to ensure that there is a growth of the basketball game in Lagos and the rest of the country.
Paint new hoops or putting up a logo on that fence, you know. It's about renewing, let's say, the passion for basketball, bringing talent into this court, hopefully see stars because of this court, you know what I mean? And it's about bringing communities together, you know, building up friendships, building up memories, and hopefully build up a future to one of these great talents that we have here today. And hopefully it will not be, you know, the last project when it comes to basketball. We are looking to do more, especially in different communities, to bring together all of the people under the same roof, which is the talent that mostly we miss on, because no one is giving them the right attention.
For us, you know, it's a thing of pride for the local government that the American Cola has partnered with us, has deemed it fit to partner with us, and has also brought more light to our local government. Because it's not only about American Cola, it's also about the local government showing participation in sport activities to take the youth out of the streets.
Agege defeated Fadayi by 6 points to 3 in the first match of the 3x3 event. The occasion was attended by management team members of Planet Bottling Company and members of the Odi Olowo Ojuoye LCDA administration, who both guaranteed their commitment to youth of the community. In Lagos for News Central, Favor Itwa.
The political tension is rising in Osun as the governorship election approaches, and the stakes could not be higher. Barely 3 days to the polls. Governor Ademola Adeleke's camp has raised the alarm over what they describe as intimidation, harassment, and even targeted violence against their supporters. They argue that the atmosphere is being poisoned by partisan policing, alleged manipulation of electoral processes, and a climate of fear that threatens the credibility of the poll.
On the other side, the opposition insists these claims are exaggerated, accusing the Adeleke campaign of playing the victim's card while ignoring its own role in escalating political hostilities. The APC, led by former Governor Ademola Adeleke, maintains that it is committed to a free and fair election. But questions remain about whether both parties are truly prepared to respect the will of the people. Join us this morning for this important discussions, former Chief Press Secretary to ex-Governor Ademola Adeleke, Mr. Ismail Omipidan, and a spokesperson for the Adeleke Campaign Council, Mr. Pelumi Olajegbensi. A warm welcome to you both, gentlemen, and welcome to Breakfast Central.
Good morning.
I'd like to start with Mr. Olajegbensi. How would you describe the political atmosphere in Osun State as we inch towards the gubernatorial elections this Saturday? And what do you make of the statement that was made by Senator Fadahunsi and his rebuttal yesterday?
Well, the people of Osun State are getting ready for the election. But why we are strongly worried is because recent events, particularly Senator Fadahunsi's statement, has clearly shown that the Nigerian police is possibly compromised or lacks the capacity to provide security for the election. And I think, personally, we may have to start inviting other security agencies to support the Nigerian police for this very, very serious assignment. The reason is very, very clear. Yesterday, Senator Fadahunsi said in public that members of our court should be killed. Even before his own statement as well, one other prominent member of APC said in public that she has gun in her house and that she can shoot anytime. Another young man, Eniade from, I think, Odotin, also said yesterday in public that no member of our court should come out on the day of election. You see, having a series of statements and behavior like this in an election week, and the Commissioner of Police, the Inspector General of Police, is doing absolutely nothing about it. I am surprised that Fadahunsi has not been arrested now. I am surprised that Eniade is still working freely. I am surprised the Eroanike woman who claimed she has gun in an house and that she's ready to shoot anyone is yet to be arrested. Look, the Nigerian police arrested one Honorable Popola Alaba in Elisha for no reason, without finding anything on him. They drove him from Osun State to Abuja. When they got to Abuja, the Inspector General of Police proceeded to court to obtain a detention warrant. And the allegations against him on the detention warrant is that he committed robbery without providing anything before the court. It will interest you to know that we approached that same court and that detention order was vacated and a release warrant was issued by the court. This has happened almost 5 days now today, but the Inspector General of Police has not deemed it fit to release this person. There's no petition against him. There's no evidence of robbery. This is a man who is the candidate of accord in election. However, we have a senator who came out publicly, said to the whole world that members of accord should be killed. And the police is yet to do anything about it. I think we need to be serious about issues in this country. And we need to be sure if we genuinely have a country we can call our own, or there's a total breakdown of law and order. This is not banana republic. And that is my concern. So we are saying that the people of Osun State are very well prepared for this election. The people of Osun State are peaceful and they are ready to go into the election with a clear mind. But we are demanding that the Nigerian police should act now. And take up its responsibility seriously. Just like about 5 days ago, the Honorable Commissioner for Environment, Honorable Maiwa Adejori, was arrested in Osun State. He was detained. He was undressed. He was naked. His boxers removed, his singlet removed at the police detention. And he was released the following morning without any charge, without anything. The police eventually apologized to him that he was wrongly arrested. But a senator who had made a statement publicly is yet to be arrested. It means that the police is compromised or the police is not competent enough to do the job. So that's my position.
You do not have any form or iota of confidence in the Nigerian police force that they will be able to carry out a safe, free and fair elections, ensuring that they provide security for every indigene in Osun State?
No, you see, the facts speaks for itself. The facts are all over the place. It is not even about me having confidence in Nigerian police to protect lives for this election. It is about the fact that the issues that are on ground, the serious security threats that we are seeing today is not being addressed by the police. And the police is not saying anything. The reality is that we have a police today that has been overpowered by politicians. We have a police today that is subservient to politicians. We have a police today who literally take instruction from the APC. So I want to believe now today that if Mr. Fadahunsi is not arrested, detained, and charged to court for an offense that is prima facie clear to the world, then it means that we are not serious about addressing insecurity in Nigeria.
All right.
So these are very, very serious issues, and that is my concern.
All right, let's bring
and I think anyone on this program will confirm this fact and will understand with me that there is a serious security issue in Osun State that must be addressed. And I think our demand should be that the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Civil Defense, or other security agencies should please come in and provide support for the Nigerian police.
All right, let's bring in Ismail Omikwedo into the conversation. You've heard what Pelumi has said, the fears that he has, the fears that unfortunately, it seems that we've disconnected. Ismail has been disconnected from the call. We hope that he can be reconnected. Let's come back to you and continue the conversation. You've called for the arrest of the senator. You've called for the investigation of the senator. You also did make reference to a scenario where a person was wrongfully arrested, stripped of his right to dignity of human person in the way he was treated by the police, and also, eventually apologized to. Yesterday, we spoke with the Commissioner of Police in Osun State, who said that the violence in Osun State is not as a result of, political undertones, that it is just attacks and reprisal attacks. He also did show that the full weight of law enforcement is out to protect and ensure that, Osun State citizens are protected when they come out to vote. With that show of force, does that encourage you to say that maybe there will be some level of sanity on the day of the elections? And do you agree that the violence we're seeing is not political? Are you still with us? All right, it would seem that... All right, since we'll come back to you, but let's bring in Ismail into the conversation. Ismail, you must have heard what was being said, I believe. There have been strong allegations about what's been happening, the violence that has ensued in Osun State. many have said that they have lost confidence in the current elections, the coming elections, the gubernatorial elections happening on Saturday, the 15th. There have been accusations about police brutality in terms of people who have been wrongfully arrested, stripped of their dignity to dignity of human person, and lots of all these allegations. How do you respond to all these statements that have been made, all these allegations of violence that have been put forward, and particularly the statement made by the senator saying that, you know, I don't even want to quote it, but you know the statement I'm talking about.
Well, if you are not quoting it, I hope you are not expecting me to quote it. But having said that, I listened to Pelumi from the beginning, but at some point I lost connection, and so I didn't listen to everything he said. However, let me start this way, that my appearance this morning is not in defense of the APC because I am not the spokesperson of the APC campaign council. They have a designated spokesperson. However, as a stakeholder in Osun and as someone who witnessed almost similar scenario 4 years ago, I think it would be hypocritical of me not to add my voice to whatever is happening. I'm happy that today the police has invited Senator Fadahunsi at least to get to interview with them to provide explanation as to the comment he made and why he made the comment. But I want to say that 4 years ago, even though APC was in charge of the federal government, Senator Lere Oyewumi, and I will share the video with your producer. You may not necessarily play it, but you can listen to it at least to corroborate whatever I'm saying. Senator Lere Oyewumi, a senator representing Osun West, a member of the House of Reps representing my own federal constituency, Honorable Clement Olonwa, and one Spain from Ikirun. They made damaging worse statements. In spite of our petition to the police never invited them 4 years ago.
Can you mention what they said?
Fine. Leo Yeumi said it very clearly that wherever you see them, attack them, stone them. If they deserve slap, give it to them. If they deserve any other form of attack, met it out to them. Spain for Mekirun is a tebabo awala. The one from my federal constituency, he said anywhere you see APC people, beat them. And you know, so the point I'm trying to make is that this has been the pattern. But the only difference between what happened 4 years ago and what is happening today is that 4 years ago, my former principal insisted that his supporters must not take laws into their hands and ensured that security operatives were petitioned with regards to the happening at the time. And let me also place on record that 4 years ago, APC lost about 30 of their members to this same scenario that we are witnessing today. Again, as the chief press secretary then, I was the one who authored a press release asking the police to investigate a then police officer, he was CSP then, Omoyele. He killed 2 persons in a day shortly after the elections. And when the governor called for his prosecution, we gathered then that the man was being penciled down as the chief security officer of the governor-elect. And to confirm the story, the governor went ahead to appoint the same person as his chief security officer. It didn't end there. Today, as I speak to you, this same Omoyele is a head of Amotekun. The point I'm trying to make is that this police officer, as at then, had series of anti-human rights violations were documented, including petition to the NSAS panel, which were empaneled back then. But in spite of all those allegations, in spite of all those issues, the governor still went ahead to appoint him as his chief security officer. And at the end of the day, he appointed him as the head of Amotekun. So I'm saying this for you to know the character and personality of the governor himself. For me, I believe that if the governor has acted like a statesman, whatever violence we are witnessing today would not have occurred.
Okay. I mean, so now it's back on the governor's table. Let me push it back to you, Mr. Pelumi, quickly. What's your reaction to that? The governor also held a press conference. We've seen multiple press conferences. Do you also believe in the peace deal that was signed, between all parties? Because even in that day, during that day, we saw them, after putting pen to paper, they still went headlong with each other, stating clearly how insecurity is is going to affect the elections. What's your take on that? Dr. Pelumi, are you there?
Okay, this is frozen. Okay, let's come back to Ismail. Or do you...
Mr. Pelumi, can you hear me?
All right, great.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I just asked a question. What's your take? What's your response to that? We said it's on the governor's statement. Yeah, go on.
I didn't hear your question.
Oh, okay,
and,
fine.
Of course, I didn't hear
I mean, a
anything.
peace treaty was, all parties met, they signed an agreement, a peace deal, no violence, but it seems like that's just putting pen to paper. It's just talk or just signing, but nothing really happens. Our other guest has said that the governor could have stopped this violence from erupting or becoming what we see today. Do you believe so?
Well, I think I will not sit here and provide legitimacy for anything that has to do with violence. And I think very strongly that we should not give any excuse for violence at all. If anyone has committed an act that is against the law, I think the person should be taken off. The governor has the duty to call the security agencies to do their job, but the security agencies, with or without the governor's directive, have the right they have the responsibility to ensure that investigations are carried out and actions are taken. And so if you look at this issue of Fadahunsi, I mean, this is a generally seen thing that ordinarily the police should have acted upon, but they are yet to do anything about it. And apart from even Fadahunsi, other members of APC, if any member of our court has committed any offense, take them up, investigate the person. When the peace committee visited Osun State, they invited all stakeholders and all governorship candidates. Our candidate, Governor Ademola Adeleke, was at the event. He sat down there. They waited for the candidate of the APC, but was nowhere to be found. The reality is that the candidate of the APC lacked the moral ground to appear before such an eminent and important committee, and he declined the invitation. To further insult the organization, he sent someone who is neither known or connected. I mean, perhaps the person was just passing around and came out to say he's representing the governor. So it's actually an embarrassment to Nigeria, to APC, and to Osun State, because the reality is that the governor was invited by such eminent committees of respected Nigerians to ensure that parties can collaborate to give a sense of security to the people. However, in an attempt to make the people of Osun State believe that the election would not be peaceful, the candidate of the APC declined the invitation and refused to come for such an important program. And it will interest you to know that it was confirmed that same candidate of APC was actually in Osogbo, the capital of Osun State, the time and the moment the event took place. So Governor Ademola Adeleke has demonstrated sufficiently, beyond any doubt, that he is committed to peace. He said it when the Inspector General of Police visited Osun State, that if anyone associated with him, including his own son, committed any act of violence or any act of criminality, the person should be taken up. But we are talking about candidates of APC, important members of the party, calling for violence publicly, and the police is doing nothing here. I am not blaming the APC. And this is not even a political discussion. I am talking about our society. I'm talking about our nation. And I'm saying that the Nigerian police has a responsibility to ensure that the right thing is done. Before now, we do believe that the Nigerian police is one of the best police in the world. I mean, they've been rated well in a lot of competition, a lot of programs, a lot of exposure out there. But it's an embarrassment to the police today that the insecurity in Nigeria is increasing every day. And it is happening because people like Fadahunsi appear to be above the law, and the police is unable to do anything about it.
I want to also follow up with what you've said. I mean, you have said that anyone who has run foul of the law, made certain insightful comments should be picked up by the police. I want you to respond to the accusations against the DG of Imole Campaign Council, Senator Lere Oyewumi. There have been accusations about him. Some have said that the statements he made led to the killing or his involvement, that his support or his endorsement of certain actions have led to the killing of 14-year-old Ezekiel Olokpade. So how do you respond to that? And I believe that when Ismail was speaking as well, he did make reference to that. Did the police ever invite him? Does your party, did your party speak about this? Did your party take a stand? Give us the background to all of this.
So that report is absolutely not correct and is false. However, I assume without considering that is even the issue. The police responsibility is not about any political party.
Can I ask which part of the report is false?
Should have taken up such a matter and investigate. The boy that was killed deserved justice. If the police believe that anyone has committed an act that has a chain of causation related to a criminal act that has been committed, the police should invite the person. The police should investigate. We are saying that the police must not slaughter its responsibility on the altar of politics. Well, look, what the question you just asked me, and the statement by my brother, even though I didn't hear when he made that statement, has further confirmed that the Nigerian police need to wake up to their responsibility. I will say, I have said to you here, I will not come here to justify or to create excuse for the irresponsibility of the Nigerian police force.
We're here. Please go ahead. We can hear you.
I will not come here to justify, create excuse for the police inability to do their job. I am here to say that the Nigerian police must step up their job and act as a major #1 security agency in the country. Fadahunsi must be arrested. Anyone who has committed any criminal act must be arrested. Mr. Enyade, who declared war on Accord members, must be arrested. The woman who claims she has gun in her house and she can kill anyone should be arrested. If the police also think that some members of Accord have committed certain criminal offenses, they should be arrested. I mean, as I speak to you today, we have 62 members of Accord in different police cells across the country. This is logic turned upside down. Some of these persons have committed no single offense. Some of these persons have done nothing. I mean, if you have people like that in different prisons across the country, what exactly are we doing politics? Is that election? Is that a credible, free, fair election? I mean, the Nigerian police is embarrassing the organization by this Osun State election. This Osun State election has shown very well that even the Inspector General of Police is grossly incompetent and he lacks the capacity to take up his responsibility. I have seen in a video where the same Senator Fadahunsi said that if the Inspector General of Police does not arrest members of Accord, that he will sack the Inspector General of Police. And I know that it is the threat of sacking the Inspector General of Police that has affected him from ensuring that the arrest that is supposed to be done by now has not been done.
Okay.
So what we are saying is that the right thing should be done. The Inspector General of Police should stand up as a senior officer who knows his responsibility and defend the people of Nigeria. We should not sit down here and justify the fact that there are certain criminal acts that has been done by someone, and because of that, what Senator Fadahunsi has done is legitimate. No,
All right.
we are saying Mr. Governor will not go out there to police Osun State. Mr. Governor will provide leadership. Mr. Governor will encourage security agencies to do their job. And we expect...
All right, if I may interject at this point, I think I get your point that your blame is with the police, but I also just want to confirm, do you have any atom of blame for the APC as well? Because members of your party have accused the APC of being involved in the violence that has been instigated against the members of the Accord Party. Are you clearly saying now that your grouse is not with the APC in any way, but with the police in Osun State? Or the Nigerian police, rather.
Of the police. I am saying that it is the failure of the Nigerian police responsibility that has enabled APC and its members to commit all the atrocities they are committing.
All right.
And I'm saying
that you've made your point, I believe.
Take up people committing criminal acts, this criminality will stop.
All right. Okay, you've made your point, I believe.
Thank you. I'd like to bring Ismail Omipidon back into the conversation. Now, Ismail, it's a few days to elections, and we've seen what many has termed as the weaponization of poverty, and that politicians have belittled Nigerians, and they feel the best way they can get them to vote for them is through handouts. We've also seen, and this accusation is to both parties, the front runners, the Accord Party and the APC. We've seen people made to swear an oath. We've seen curses that if you take this money or this bread and rice and you vote for another party, your children will not be successful. Is this the new political reality in Nigeria? And how did you get to this? And do you also, because some people say, you know, if you don't beat them, it's best you join them. This is what the people want. Is this really what the people want, or are politicians just taking advantage of the poverty in the country?
Okay, but do we still have Pelumi on the line? Or both of them have been disconnected?
Yes, in case you can hear me,
okay.
I can hear you very clearly.
Yes, Pelumi, you can also respond to that question, because the allegation goes both ways.
I know you have seen video of APC offering bread and rice.
We've also seen the video of our Accord Party as well, with bread.
Offering bread and rice and asking that people should swear oaths that they will vote for APC. Now, let me tell you this in Osun State. Before the emergence of...
No, when we were playing party, it started at 8:30.
Are you there? Okay, we seem to have some network connectivity challenges from where you are. But let's see, Ismail, are you back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Now. We're hoping that the network will eventually remain
I think the
stable.
network is playing some tricks on us this morning.
Absolutely.
Now, I listened to you. With regards to weaponization of poverty, I think both the government and the political actors have a big role to play with regards to advocacy. And I say this with all sense of modesty. I was under Emmanuel Udom. I was in Uyo, and the hotel where I stayed, I was having seen some of the good things the man did, and I was interacting with the hotel workers that, oh, how is your governor doing? They say, well, he's doing well, but he's not sharing money. You know, I'm talking of Udom, who the current governor took over from. So the problem is that even Nigerians themselves have come to accept the fact that no matter how superlative your performance is as a governor, you must still share money. And so all the major institutions, including the actors, need serious work to do as far as that is concerned.
Truly. Seems we really have network.
Stasis.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, please.
Go ahead.
Yeah, doing one of my field studies, even in the 2022 election, field reports show very clearly that both parties engage in whether pre or during election, vote buying. It cuts across board, but even my brother that is speaking to us there, he won't want to accept it, on air, but I have credible evidence of his involvement in pre-vote buying. I have the receipt. I have everything.
Sorry, you have receipt of who?
The point I'm trying to make is that we all, if we are really, really serious about this, we all must get involved in ensuring that we stop it.
Sorry, who do you say you have receipt of their vote buying, just to be clear?
Yeah, he met with some agents of the APC and he talked them into working for his party. He gave them some money and promised them to double it or triple it if they eventually carry out the task he wants them to do for him.
All right.
That is one. Two, let me also say that if the current government and its actors are serious, the government appointed a wanted criminal, a known murderer in the state, as a special or senior special assistant. I'm talking of Ajagungbade Emir. Now, how come the government has not given him up to the police? You see, the police cannot do this job alone. The police needs the cooperation and collaboration of members of the society to do their work. The police declare certain persons wanted, and we see these persons either inside the government house or in functions on the same stage with the governor. What kind of message are you sending to the people of the state? That is why, for me, I believe very strongly that the governor has not acted like a statesman as far as this matter is concerned. I'm not trying to justify what is happening, but the truth is that if the governor is serious about peace in the state, he has what it takes to do. He must demonstrate it, not to be addressing press, blackmailing, and trying to intimidate members of the public.
I mean, you've said a lot, but let's hear from Kwelumi. Kwelumi, is that true that there's some conversations that are happening on the ground with exchange of funds? Unfortunately, we have to revert to phone conversations right now because of your network.
But please, can you hear me very clearly, please?
Can you speak up? We're struggling to hear you, Kwelumi. Your voice isn't loud.
Can you hear me very clearly?
Yes, we can. Ismail says he has evidence that you have been involved in vote buying.
To be honest and to be fair to him, I do not take him serious. I mean, anything coming out from him, I don't even take it serious. So I just assume that it's just one of those things he needs to say. So we can just proceed to some other things.
He does say he has evidence, and that's a very strong allegation, especially because you are here criticizing his party for being involved in actions that can be interpreted as vote buying.
If you listen to him very clearly, at the commencement of the engagement, he said he's not speaking for APC.
Absolutely.
But I mean, but at the end of the day, he's of course speaking for the party. But it's not a problem. I don't want this conversation to be about myself and him. Raising the allegation that I'm involved in vote buying, is embarrassment to knowledge. But I do not take anything coming out from him seriously. I heard also that he said Governor Ademola Adeleke appointed a known criminal and that the criminal is in government house. I mean, when people like this say things, then you should just trivialize it. If you have someone very serious raising allegations like this, I'll honestly love to engage.
No, especially because we are on TV.
You don't take anything.
Just because we are on TV, seriously. And for the avoidance of doubt, we have an audience watching. The question is, it's an indictment on your character, an indictment on your integrity that has been said to your face. So it's an opportunity, regardless of whether you regard the source. Can you please, speak to that? Were you involved in vote buying or not?
That's absolutely not correct. I mean,
Okay.
he said he has receipt of me getting involved in vote buying. I said that's wrong. That's false. That it has nothing to do with me. And again, when, like I said, if I'm what other response do you want me to give to someone who is making up a statement that has no reality, that is baseless? So that accusation is baseless. If you come to my constituency, you come to Osun State, you will know that I'm a person that is loved by, generally by people. If he has such evidence, he should supply it to the public. And I'm naturally generous. I give people whatever I care, which is convenient for me, but I will not give anybody a penny for the purpose of election, for the purpose of politics. You see, one of the major problems we have in this country is the fact that our leadership recruitment system is very, very terrible, and that the country places a lot of attention on people who lack character. That's, to be honest. Because if our leadership recruitment process is actually very solid, we won't be having conversation and engagement like this. I mean, saying that someone of my pedigree was involved in vote buying, if someone serious had uttered that statement, I'll take him up for defamation seriously. And like I said to you also, he also made a statement that Governor Ademola Adeleke appointed a criminal in his administration. That statement is false. You go and check the list of the appointees of Governor Ademola Adeleke, and you can, on your own as journalists, vet the record and the antecedents of everyone who is an appointee under the government administration. It is not enough for anyone to come to national television to make accusation or to say things that are baseless. There's no basis. Mr. Governor himself has said that if anyone is connected to him, has committed any offense, that the Nigerian police should take up the person. So if you claim that the Nigerian police has declared a particular person wanted, it means that the Nigerian police is interested in the person, and the Nigerian police will arrest the person, will charge the person to court. So saying that Mr. Governor appointed the person is logic turned upside down. And that record, he has not even provided the name of the person, number one. And apart from that, even when he provides the name of the person, I want to also encourage you as journalists, please request for records of
Absolutely. That would be the next.
Adeleke, and you can vet for yourself.
That will be the next question. And we're also going to ask Ismail, please, you said you will send that proof to our producer. Would urge you to please do so. Because if you are making such grand statements, of course, you have to back it up with proof. All right? We're told his network is still it's troubleshooting. Hopefully he'll be able to join again, but we're out of time, apparently. And we need to bring this conversation to a close. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. The countdown is on. Osun will continue to remain on the headlines, despite the fact that many would have wanted the likes of Bajagate and other stories to also remain on the headlines. But as it stands right now, Osun is the major story, and it will continue to remain on the headlines, whether we like it or not. I want to thank the gentlemen for joining us. We'll continue this conversation in the course of our programming, but remember that we have our reporters on ground, and a lot has been said. As we wrap up this conversation, we'll leave with the PPRO of the Nigerian Police Force, who did have a little video made just to put it out there to all indigents of Osun State, making it clear, just rather re-echoing what the police had put out in a press statement, and making it clear that they will not tolerate any form of violence, especially from the IG of police. Another update is that the IG of police has mentioned that there will be no Amotekun or any other paramilitary agencies joining this election. It will be strictly dealt and handled by the Nigerian Police Force. We do not know if the military will also join that. But of course, names that were mentioned include very clearly, let me lay my hands on that latest press release again, just to mention that we're having different press releases coming out immediately, real time, and it's very key that we break that to you. So the Nigerian Police Force has barred the Western Nigerian Security Network, popularly known as Amotekun, vigilante groups, and other non-state security outfits from participating in security operations for Saturday's Osun State governorship election. So what this means is that we'll only get to see the Nigerian police force, and we'll wait to see if another press release will highlight clearly if the military will also be part of that. But a lot is happening. Let's just leave you with a video of the PPRO, and then when we come back after the break, we'll take a look at what we have on the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us.
Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, the Nigerian Police Force wishes to reassure the general public, political actors, and all stakeholders of its commitment to ensuring a peaceful, secure, and credible gubernatorial elections in Osun State. As part of the force's comprehensive election security strategy, the deployment of Commissioner of Police CP Samuel Erale Etaifo as CP Elections Osun State remains a key component of the operational framework designed to coordinate election security across Osun State. CP Samuel Erale Etaifo will work in close collaboration with other sister security agencies and relevant stakeholders to safeguard voters, election officials, electoral assets, and other critical materials before, during, and after the election. The Nigerian Police Force hereby reiterates that all personnel deployed for election duties are expected to maintain the highest standards of discipline, professionalism, and neutrality in strict compliance with the law, including the Code of Conduct for security personnel on election duty. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Rilwan Disu, PSC Daga, NPM, urges all political parties, candidates, supporters, and members of the public to remain peaceful, law-abiding, and cooperative throughout the election process. He further assures that the Nigerian Police Force will continue to discharge its constitutional responsibilities with fairness, firmness, and absolute respect for democratic principles. The force urges residents of Osun State to shun violence and thuggery and go about their lawful activities without fear, as adequate security measures have been put in place to guarantee and safeguard the electoral process to produce a credible election. The Nigerian Police Force remains committed to protecting lives and property and ensuring that the electoral process is conducted in an atmosphere of peace, order, and public confidence. God bless the Nigerian Police Force. God bless the good people of Osun State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central. Let's go straight to the front pages of the newspapers. Joining us is Mr. Olusegun Okwade, a.k.a. also known as the golf legend, also known as the chartered accountant, a.k.a. the tax
also
master,
known as Tiger Woods of Osun State.
Tiger Woods of Osun State, a.k.a. the one.
Only him.
Come on. Come on, let's go.
You're welcome, Mr. Olusegun Okwade.
Are you sure that I have not done internship with Agbero? Because these are the used to help people for the road.
This is not Agbero. We are giving honor to whom honor is due.
Okay,
Good morning.
A man of timber, caliber, and Iroko.
At least we've never held your suit and say you have to.
Because you know that if you turn me upside down like this, Shingbai will not drop.
No, because you know the Agberos, the video we saw, they said you cannot. One of the Agberos said you cannot be making money and not give us our share.
Olive, I hope you're not passing through that Lekki corridor with this outfit, because those guys might interpret it as diamonds.
Or they will think I'm related to Peace Square. You know this jacket.
Alingo.
Welcome, Mr. Okwade.
Thank you very much.
I have seen you yesterday in some pictures. It seems you were present at the wedding ceremony of Cristiano Ronaldo and Georgina Rodriguez.
Yeah, I was there. I came in through Ghana by road. And,
it's true. Ghana shares a border with Portugal.
I see. How was the whole thing?
No, very fantastic. I just had to...
Okay, let's go into the papers. Just to let you know, we're streaming live on YouTube, New Central TV Live. And this is the point where we want to hear your voice. So the number to call is on your TV screen. Please call in. Give us your thoughts on any of the stories that we're discussing on the papers. drop your comments. And also, if you don't want to talk, you're too shy to speak over the phone, head to YouTube. We'll read your comments from YouTube. News Central TV Live. Let's begin with, which one should we start with? Let's start with The Guardian. On the front page of The Guardian newspaper, big story there. Airpeace versus unions. Chaos as passengers, I almost said chaos. Chaos as passengers, airlines suffer losses from over 80 cancelled flights. We had that conversation earlier with our guests who came in to give us a backstory and what the next steps are. Obasanjo, Jonathan, others seek overhaul of Nigeria's democracy governance structure. Oriri abduction. Oyo probe panel seeks public evidence as DSS releases artisans. ASU prepares 20 varsities for industrial action, issues 14-day ultimatum. UBEC urges states to deploy unutilized 332 billion naira education development fund. Nigeria's high debt service training social infrastructure spending, AFDP warns. 2027 rather, ADC unveils code of ethics document for candidates and members. Osun 2026, Adeleke Oyebamiji Salam talk tough of victory. Federal government recovers 3 billion naira media debts, declares end to unpaid adverts. So let's start with Osun, the big pink elephant in the room. Adeleke Oyebamiji Salam, the three leading candidates out of the 14 who are jostling for the official position of being the commander, no, I won't say commander-in-chief, the chief security officer of the state. Of Osun State. What are your thoughts on what's happening in Osun State? It seems that we are now doing a fight to the finish. It's a violent situation in Osun.
Yeah, thank you very much, Olive. Quite disheartening that our politics has gotten this bad. Or maybe I would say has gotten this worst to the extent that people's life means nothing to the people that call themselves our leaders. When people are talking this tough and desperate about winning, you ask yourself, is it about the service to the people or about what they are going to galvanize for themselves, recouping their investment, huge investment that they have made before our hand? And quite disappointing that even the followers on their own path do not even think deep of the things that is actually happening. They sacrifice their lives for what does not actually matter. In the sense that if in the course of this election that is coming on Saturday, you lose your life, all in the name of supporting one candidate on the other, all you have achieved is to impoverish your family the more if you are probably the one that is actually feeding them. Because none of these politicians would ever, I say it, will ever remember that you are out there fighting for them, either at the ward, at the local government, or wherever it is. And it's because a lot of people have seen these political office holders as having it all. So even when they are not sending them, yesterday I was on a particular program and they were talking about the woman that was sharing 10 kg of rice, for people. And we are looking for vote buying. Which other vote buying do you need to who do you need to apprehend? But do you know that the major contestant will come out and tell you that they are not even aware, they are not privileged to some of the things that they are sharing. But a lot of people goes on to invest in it because they know that if their candidate should win, it's definitely an investment that will yield great dividend on their part. And that's why they go all out to make sure that they protect their interest. I made bold to say that most of these politicians are really not out on the interest of individual, but they are out there on the interest of themselves, their cronies and things to do. It does not worth it to sacrifice your life, even for them, because afterwards, when anything happens, it's about your family that will carry the cross alone. Quite interesting. I always tell people I'm from that state, but the part at which we're seeing them throwing words at each other, I expect much more calmness on their part, but they are all talking tough. And you ask yourself, is it about service to people? If one person wins, can't we consolidate our ideas and see how we can make our state much more better
and that's
than
how it
just
should
be living on individual?
And that's how it should be. Mr. Okwade,
so that's the video that was actually trended. And you can see this. So you are asking of vote buying. Is this not something that we should apprehend? The people that are concerned. And this is how people mortgage their future. You take 2 kg of rice, and after that one, they come back and you will not even have access.
I mean, it's not even a bag of rice. It's really,
it's 2 kg
sad.
now. It's 2 kg. And they are giving the rice. I don't know whether there is money to buy the tomatoes.
There's a little bit of equity on the side that if you didn't vote for us, we are gone. We are
It's not just rice. It's
rice
conditional rice with a little bit of courses and equity by the side.
Leave all those things. These people will chop the rice. If they don't vote for them, nothing will happen.
I think we have a call from Uche from Abia. Hi, good morning, Uche.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Uche. Is that rice entering your eye this morning?
It's a pity. That is what politicians have reduced Nigerians to. That's the quality of life. It's a pity. Mr. Benga, you see, if we want to, get this country correctly, we should do away with, politics is so lucrative. The kind of money politicians are making. Are you telling me those people that are sharing this are not going to recoup their money? That is the problem. Political offices in this country is so lucrative that they can kill to maintain that office. Until we do away, assuming that they are taking minimum wage, 70,000, then that the idea to serve us will be meaningful. But because of what they are getting, that is why you are seeing killings. And also police should stop defending any government that comes in. They are not allegiance to Nigerians. That is the issue. Until the president stops appointing Inspector General of Police. Let police be neutral. Let there be a body. Let us canvass who is going to head police. Not that one person will appoint, chief Inspector General of Police. That is also the problem. These two things, if they collect minimum wage, if the Inspector General of Police are not being appointed to the president, things will reduce. You won't see all those killings and swapping. God bless you people.
God bless you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Okwade, what do you make of going through all those rhetorics? Just last week, they signed a peace accord. The governor took himself there. The Oni of Ife was there. They had first-class obas from Osun State. Other party members was there. The APC governorship candidate wasn't at the peace accord. So why did they go through the ceremony of signing the peace accord if nobody's going to abide by it? The rhetorics are still...
But Benga,
the tension is still heightened.
But Benga, this is not the first time we are signing peace accord. It's a norm. It's a process, even at the federal level.
Or is it the Agbiros that need to come and start signing the
No, the elites is just to fulfill the
Because where Senator Fadahunsi was making that statement, there were young men in balaclavas just in front of him. In that crowd, they were covering their identity. Why? About 3 of them.
His Eminent Pramit Kuka, Abdul Salam, all those people are the ones that manages the peace accord stuff. You see, let me tell you, have you seen anyone being brought to justice among the politicians after this election process?
Pre or post?
Pre or post. That these are people. Like I mentioned to you, that person that you saw on air now, sharing on the video, sharing rights, people, they will issue a disclaimer that they don't know him. If somebody carries a gun and is shooting in the air, they will tell you that they don't know him. But it's actually carrying and working to make sure that some of the things that they will do is actually in there. Peace accord is one of the rituals. You see, there are processes you must follow. When election process is coming, get your voter's card, let's get the signed peace accord, let's move the materials to where it is, let all the NYSC and the other people get ready for. Those are processes. So signing the peace accord is one of the norms that must be there. until we start bringing people to justice. And you know what happens? When they even arrest any of those miscreants, they are so discreet that they will not disclose anyone that they're actually working for. They can tell you that it's, even if any one of them is opening up, it will tell you that it's related to one that is related to one. Before they even get to the main source, it's about 6 links, and there's already a disconnect. So we should...
But in a situation where somebody has come up, like they say on the street, with his full chest, to say, kill these people, well, what should be done in that situation? And I'm talking
but you know, in
Senator Fadahunsi.
In the same
But he said he meant, you speak Yoruba.
Yes, no.
Maybe we should have that video up and take a listen again so that...
Not this one.
Not the initial video where he was making the threat.
Yes.
Yes.
So, àtidé àti wá sọ fún yín títí dọjọ́ ìbò tí a bá rí wọn ó pa ni o. Àwọn òbí máa wò.
You heard him.
The question there is, we heard him, I heard him. Has they been invited to come and even speak to this? He said, Titi Dojoibo, Bipani, and that is...
until the day of the election,
until the day of
we
election.
shall be killing them.
Until Titi Dojoibo. That means as we are talking now, till the day of election, is killing.
So
and there is no security agency inviting for questioning, which I know.
The police called, the Osun State police this morning, invited him.
So let's wait for the outcome of this. So he will deny this that he has.
He has. He said it's AI.
Ben, I'm coming. Sorry. I want us to, I'm happy we have an in-house translator here. So it doesn't seem like sometimes, I think any politician watching should know that Nigerians are educated.
We're not stupid.
We're not.
No, for politicians, we are not, though, because they take us for a ride.
Okay, so he said, until the day of election, do what? Unalive them. In that statement, did he say unalive them with your power of votes?
First and foremost, I did not even hear the disclaimer. But like I used to say, you know, when they are addressing the crowd, and that's why you say an average politicians, when they are in power, they read to their speech so that they don't get overexcited. When they speak extemporal, they go outside the context and they will come out and say it's AI. We've seen a lot of them. That's why most of their speechwriters will say, Oga, don't get overexcited. When you ask them question, they dodge your question if it's not prepared for. Because things like this will always happen. I'm sure he got carried away. And it will be nice if they can have a full-fledged of that video for him to now that you have AI, so AI will now come and give that interpretation to say, when you are already, when they go out to campaign, I ask myself, if this thing is about service to humanity, why do you need to sacrifice fellow human blood to get to power?
Okay, we're coming. We've highlighted something. Binga, sorry. Let's just take a call. When we take this call, then I want to proceed. Basically, we're trying to do a breakdown of what was said. I really wish there was a board here to highlight it clearly. Hi, Clement. Okay, we lost that. Okay, so let's go back to it. So first, a senator comes out and says, until the day of election, unalive these people. Okay? He later comes out very quickly, having understood the magnanimity of what he said. His team comes out and says, Oga, quickly, just, you're going for an interview, let's put a PR together. And he said, I did not say so, I was misinterpreted. I said, unalive them, in quotes, kill them with your votes.
Well, so why didn't you make the complete statement?
So it wasn't there. That's one.
Why didn't you make that?
Okay, that's one. Two, few hours after he leaves a TV station where he said so, he goes to another TV station yesterday and says, oh, by the way, that video is doctored, it's AI.
You know, this thing is surrounded about people just defending what is not defendable. And they should understand one thing now. I pity these our leaders because they are still living in their stone age, thinking that the way they actually handled our parents, that they will just come and talk and they will go. One day, one young guy will stand up to this man and will tell him to his face, sir, go and sit at the back. The AI is talking about, does it think that we younger generation don't know what AI looks like? you either does not know. The people that mentioned that to him to say, Oga, go and tell them that's AI doctor. Does he himself know how to operate the system?
At all. Even those ChatGPT.
Does he know? One small boy will come and tell you, and you cannot just admit to say, okay, this was born out of the fact that I was speaking, you know, I don't know how to just put it.
I let my emotions get the best.
Get the best out of you. You are now coming to tell lies and ridicule you. Does he himself, if he sees AI, can he identify it? It's about your guys that are working with you that will tell you.
Does the Senate have any role to play in this? What would you recommend they...
If the Senate, if he's a serving senator, the highest they will do is to invite him and ask them to ask questions. The same presentation he has done is what he will present. And I can tell you, esprit de corps is what we have out there. Nothing will happen. What is quite painful is that the way we are talking about terrorism, taking off innocent lives. We are talking about bandits taking off our younger generation. Here we have our leaders coming on air to speak about, because of political ambition, take off people's lives. Do we still value life in this country? That's my concern. People wake up on a daily basis. All you hear is that if it is not in the West, it will be in the North, it will be in the North Central, or people being kidnapped, people being killed. And here we are because of political office, that you'll be there for 4 years. Because they know that nobody is going to ask them. He himself, as a serving senator, let's act of his scorecard. What he has actually done, even that merits some of those things. But because they know, take it, run away with it, kill people, nothing will happen. That's why they can come openly and say what it is. I feel that I pity for that. You see that people will not come out on that day. You will hear about the accredited or registered voters, 1 million and something. And they will tell you that people that voted that day are not up to 300,000.
But we've seen show of force. It should reassure the people.
When there are show of...
Nigerian police contingent.
Benga, when there are show of force, it reinforces the fact that I don't want to go out. Because if anything happens, do I want to sacrifice myself?
Nobody wants to... Mr. Kwade, do you think that when the politicians sit down, do they really think about the future and the precedents they are setting in a way that if someone else takes over power, of course, power is transient, do they worry that the person would have learned from what they've done currently and would even do worse? Therefore, it would have a negative impact on them as well.
Maybe, Joe, if they have been learning before now, maybe it would have been better. We won't be where we are today. Ask yourself, is this the same way our own father that they all rely on in the Southwest, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, had his political, because a lot of them will tell you that they are affiliated to Obafemi Awolowo. Is this the way the likes of Jakonde ran politics during their day? We've shifted away from politics of making it for the people to what I can have for myself and protect this. That's why you see a lot of people, when they move in from governor, you see that you go for Senate. If you are not at the Senate, you don't even mind to come back and become councillor in that state where you've been governor. All you want is relevance so that you stay in tune. They don't mind to take anything as far. Even if you ask them to go and be ward chairman after they've left office, what they want is relevance so that they can come out again and get what it is. The politics we know with our forefathers, that a lot of them align with, is gone. It's about, let me just have this now and secure the future of unborn children. And it's always pathetic when a lot of them, and I'm saying this because we've seen.
Should we state that of my unborn children, because the unborn children are not for the Nigerian
no, it's for theirs.
Yeah.
And you see what is so pathetic about it? When a lot of these people leave office, it's always about one sickness, it's about one problem, it's about one issue. Even their so-called children do not even enjoy some of the largesse they've claimed they've amassed for themselves as against benefiting even the masses. And I think that's what they should have a deep thought about as against all this that is happening.
Let's go to Osun State now, because, I mean, it's going to be a showdown, whether you like it or not.
Of course, with all this that we are hearing.
Yeah. We have our correspondent, Ademola Adeleke, who's there now this morning. Lola, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Breakfast Central. Can you give us an update into what's happening in Osun State this morning?
Good morning, Joe. As you can agree with me that all eyes are on Osun State for the gubernatorial election slated for Saturday, the 15th of August. And then, just as political parties are all, getting prepared with their different campaigns and rallies, putting forward their candidate, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is also working tirelessly to prepare for the elections. And, to talk about that is somebody who can talk about it better. His name is Mr. Rufus Ariyoyo. He's the voter education and publicity official. He's going to be telling us more about preparations, what INEC has done. Good morning, sir. Good morning. So can you tell us what, the preparation is like, particularly on the part of INEC?
Thank you very much. As far as we are concerned as the commission, we are fully prepared for the election. All our non-sensitive material already at the local government, badged to the PU level. Tomorrow, we are going to collect the sensitive material at the CBN. All our adult staff are trained, the SPO are trained, the POs are trained, waiting for deployment on Saturday. So everything is set as far as we are concerned as the commission.
Okay, so let's talk about, in terms of movement, we hope that all are set, that we wouldn't hear stories of, materials getting to polling unit late. We just hope that all are set for now.
No, material cannot get to the polling unit late because there is something that's called rack. All the materials will have gone to the rack. That is the closest place to rally at the eve of the election. So, I'm assuring Nigeria or people assuring that on or before 7 a.m., all our material will be at the PU, but the poll will not open until 8:30. So there is no cause for alarm. That we are set.
Thank you very much, sir. Joe, you've heard it from the official in charge of voter education and publicity saying that all is, all is set for INEC, on the part of INEC, that all is set for the election to happen
Lola,
on Saturday.
I don't know. I'm sorry to
all
butt
the
in.
materials would definitely get to
Lola, I'm sorry to
before
butt
7 a.m.
in.
So
we have very little
delay.
time. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry to butt in. Please, if you can, just hold on to that guest. I just have a question I want to pass through you to him. There is an update as we speak this morning. The governor of Osun State has alleged that INEC, APC chiefs, actually make up the list of those who will be handling sensitive materials for INEC. He has published their names, and there are up to 31 of them. I don't know if your guest is still there. If you can ask him if this is true, that the people who will be handling sensitive materials for INEC, 31 of the names published by the governor belong to the APC, the APC members. Card-carrying members.
Okay. All right. So, sir, my colleague in the studio just mentioned now that 31 of the people in charge of the polling units are the names given by APC candidate. That, if you can react to that, please.
That is an unfounded allegation. We don't deal with any political party during our recruitment. We know there is a portal. No open for recruitment, and it is we don't deal with any political party during our recruitment at all.
So you're assuring us that the numbers, the officials who will be handling the polling units are directly from INEC, not from any political party.
They are directly from INEC, and they are all going to subscribe to the oath of neutrality. Even during their training, if there was anyone caught, to be a politician, they would have been expunged before this time. So none of them belong to any of the political party.
Thank you very much. Joe, according to him, he said that there isn't anything like that. It's all allegations from that, the APC, that there's nothing like that, that, INEC doesn't deal with political parties, that it's strictly on an officialcy from INEC.
Thank you so much, Ademola Adeleke, for that report. Thank you. We're going on a quick break. When we come back, we still have our guests in the studio. We'll look at some of the biggest stories making headlines in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. We have very little time to go, and we're looking at this Nigeria next. Senate gives Seplat 3 others 48 hours deadline over NETI queries. And at the bottom there, Western democracy has failed Nigeria, and Africa, says Obasanjo, demands model rooted in culture and diversity.
I agree with him.
I knew you were going to agree with him.
They'll say when it was his time. Why didn't he push for that?
God bless you.
He says that liberal Western democracy is practiced in Europe, the Americas, substantial part of Southeast Asia and Australia, and of course here on the continent of Africa. According to him, it doesn't matter whether political parties remain as they remain. He said, but I hope they will not remain as they remain, or that the judiciary is captured control. He said, of what need is judiciary in government making? What purpose does it serve? When millions of people have voted, then 5 people will come to decide either in favor or against the decision of millions of people. Is that democracy? It cannot be democracy. And if that cannot be democracy, what is the judiciary role in democracy?
Well, it's good when you hear some of this comment from our leaders. With due respect to our father, we can call him the founder or the founding father of the modern democracy, because he started in 1999 democracy when it was returned. And my question is, what foundation was laid by him? Because they said when the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? I believed part of the foundation that was laid is what some of these leaders are actually modifying, working on, and we are getting the result that is desired of us. This is not new, if you ask me, my team. The fact remains that most of our politicians, we always pass positive comment and they will call it creative and objective criticism to people in power. But do you know that a lot of these things are actually being suggested to them when they were actually in power? I'm sure if this administration leaves tomorrow, they will come out to tell the incumbent then some of their lapses, some of their failures, which I was in a program when one guy was challenging the former governor of Osun State on some of the very creative and very juicy, policies that the government can follow. And one guy stood among the audience and said, sir, what happened that all these things that you are discussing with us here today was never implemented while you are there? We never had answer to that question. So the fact remains that you can see clearer and better when you are outside.
Benefit of hindsight.
Than when you are within the ocean. The ocean and the soap may be clogging your eyes and you won't be able to see clearly. But whatever it is.
The suggestions that they gave.
Okay.
They said probably, that the way to go is back to the pre-independence and early independence period of having a parliamentary system where at least the powers are shared. You have the chief executive of the country that manages the resources, the prime minister and the president that commands the troops.
Ministers are also part of parliament.
Yeah. Like the president or the king of the queen or the queen in England and in other countries. The prime minister too will respect the president that commands the troops, and the president that commands the troops must respect the prime minister because he holds the cause of the country. So at least presidential powers are divided, shared by 2 people, unlike in Nigeria where one person has it.
Maybe they should also be swearing out of office with Amadioha and
Shongo. No, Shongo. They understand
instant retributive justice.
They understand some of those things. Ask them to use Shongo.
Anyway, they've started using Hennessy for libation these days. So even the gods have upgraded.
Yeah, they've actually moved on. The fact remains that the suggestions by our leaders are actually what you ask yourself, how much of it can they implement? When you talked about policies, when you talked about some of these things are out there, is when it comes to implementation, you see individuals, looking at what is in it for me and what can be beneficiary. Right. I've said it times to that number, this country is blessed. We have all the resources needed. The human intellectual is actually there. The capacity building is what other people relies on. What we lack is the leadership.
Before we go, 30 seconds. Okay. What do you make of Davido writing to Donald Trump? It's as if the last bomb they bomb us is not enough.
He's only seeking Donald to come. You know, when you have your power, you can write, maybe after Donald, they will write to the Russian president to come to our
Okay, let's end today by a quote that I'm going to read from this same article that talked about our kind of democracy. Obi had said, it is time for every Nigerian to sit down and ask ourselves, where is our nation going? We need to reverse this because the abuse we are allowing today will take its revenge on our children. God bless you all.
Which way, Nigeria?
Which way, Nigeria?
Thank you all for watching. Jasiri is up next, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, Benga will be on his assignment to Osun State by tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you for watching.
You will go.